OCO, freethinkers. You're now tuned into the realest historian on the planet. He's here to make you think. The best teacher you wished you had in school. Have your pens and paper handy and get ready to take notes.
We're live.
Relax and take notes. Take notes. Take notes. It's go time, Slim.
It's Dane Calloway.
Just riding out, man. OCO, how y'all doing, man? How y'all doing? How y'all feeling, man? OCO, who we got up in here? I saw DC up in here. I saw Florida up in here. Shout out to the moderators. Shout out to the administrators of the 13% and the live chat, of course. I really appreciate y'all, helping me out, man. Amani, shout out to you. Mellow Bear, shout out to you. Levante, shout out to you. Mia, shout out to you. Blue, shout out to you. Carla, shout out to you. Iroquois, shout out to you. Montana, shout out to you. Yo, seriously, shout out to the moderators. Shout out to the moderators. Shout out to the administrators. Real talk, man. They gotta get love up in here. Yeah, look, y'all should know them as the snipers. Shout out to the snipers, Indiana in the building, Chicago in the building, Minnesota in the building, Oklahoma in the building. What up, Chief Master K? Shout out to, Montana in the building, VA in the building, DC in the building, Greenville, Mississippi in the building, Chicago in the building. What up, Willie? What's going on, y'all? What up, Rick? VA in the building, Louisiana in the building. Louisiana in here heavy, I see you. What up, Charlestown? What up, Buffalo, New York? West Baltimore, what up, B-More? Duval is in the building. Memphis 10 is in the building. H-Town is in the building. What's going on? Man, look. Shout out to them Texas boys. What up, Richmond? Oh, Richmond, California, what's going on? What's going on, Richmond, California? I see you in here deep. ATL in the building. Pittsburgh in the building. Damn, Pittsburgh heavy too. Yeah, man. Uptown Bronx in the building. Harlem in the building. Seattle in the building. San Francisco in the building. Charlotte, North Carolina. Detroit in the building. Man, Mississippi, 205, Uptown, I see y'all. Clearwater, Florida. I'm doing well, brother. Thank you for asking. Southside DC in the building. What's good, Slim? What's going on? What's going on, H-Town? Cleveland, Ohio. Nebraska in the building. Fresno, Cali. Phoenix, Arizona. Cincinnati in the building. Kentucky in the building. What's good? Brooklyn in the building. East Los Angeles in the building. Tampa in the building. Northwest Uptown in the building. South Dallas in the building. What up, Texas? Yeah, man, how y'all feeling this evening? What up, Alabama, Albany, Sacramento, RVA, Kansas City, Utah. He said shout out to the haters. Yeah, shout out to the haters too. Arizona. Tampa, I see you, Mike. What up, Tampa? Mooresville, North Carolina. Jersey in the building. Fort Worth in the building. Yeah, man. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Are you ready?
All right, so let me. All right, so we ain't do this in a minute. Where the spam joint at? Let's spam the chat real quick. Drop your fire emojis, your bow and arrows, your feathers, all indigenous emojis. Spam the chat with it real quick. One more, spam the chat real quick.
Turn up. Keep spamming emojis and flatten the chat.
Oh, let me check my audio. I had to make sure my audio was on. Hold up. my audio wasn't on. My bad. Look, my audio wasn't on twice. Y'all got to excuse me. I'm a little tired. But we going to make it happen. Little Rock, Arkansas. Yeah. There we go. Absolutely. Much love. Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, let me pull it up now. Y'all was getting on me yesterday that I started. I forgot a couple things. Hold up. Now, I don't know why sometimes some of the notifications wasn't coming through. It was crazy. Wealthy Whisper, thank you for the super chat. So I'm gonna have this up on this screen so I can really see it. I'm gonna move it over here. I'm gonna make it big screen. Terrence, thank you for the 22 months in a row. All right. Next time, don't block you. Now, if the snipers block you, you out of there. If you come up in here trolling, you out of there. You got to be a respectful troll. If you a disrespectful troll, we kick you out the door. Yeah, matter of fact, let's do that. Let's do a moment of silence for D'Angelo. Now, if some of y'all don't know, D'Angelo passed today. I was told that it was from some type of cancer. D'Angelo, the singer. That's sad. That's sad. That's real sad. So we lost one of the most talented brothers that we had. You know what I mean? They said it was cancer. Yeah. So let's do a moment of silence for D'Angelo. Shout out to D'Angelo, though, and anybody else that we lost. Shout out to those of you that we lost, especially due to cancer. Man, fuck cancer. you know. But let's celebrate his life, man. Let's celebrate all our people's lives that we lost. You know, let's keep them in high regard. You know what I mean? They resting well. And that's even more powerful that we got them as ancestors. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, yeah, man. Yeah, I know I didn't want to touch on that topic. I know, y'all, but, you know, I know that happened to not just, you know what I mean? Not just D'Angelo, but it's definitely people's family members that, you know, cancer beat, man, fuck cancer, bro. Yeah, man. Deshaun came in here with a big bomb. Las Vegas by way of Louisiana. Shout out to you. I appreciate that. Thank you for the love, Deshaun. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, man, it's amazing that you know, certain people will go through things and, you know, and they be fighting, you know, they be trying to. Like I said, I don't want to get into that topic, man, because that topic is real touchy, man. But just let them rest well, man. Let me stop myself right now, because that topic real touchy. Let me stop myself right now. But yeah, man, shout out to those that we lost that are still with us as ancestors. Like they are, I'm telling y'all, man, our ancestors are so powerful and they deserve nothing but the best from us. We here on this earth. You know what I mean? And while we here, we was put here for a reason. Let's make that reason a positive reason. Let's make that reason a reason to propel our people into greatness. You know what I mean? Prosperity. Peace. Love, happiness. Right. Yeah, man. Shout out to D'Angelo and all of y'all family members and my family members. You know what I mean? We miss them. We love them. Come on, y'all. Let me upbeat it. Let me talk about the situation, man. Let me jump into it. What up, Jersey? Let me jump into it. Yeah, so it's an EG Takeover Tuesday. If you don't know already, every Tuesdays and Thursdays, if y'all would like to participate, it's actually free. Every Tuesdays and Thursdays. Hold on. I gotta blow my nose.
Stop it. Get some help.
All right. My bad. I muted it so, you know what I'm saying? So it wouldn't be as bad, you know what I mean? Y'all gotta excuse me. But you know. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, you gotta watch for them. Yeah, I mean, cause look. Let me explain. Magnolia, baby, I appreciate that super chat, OCO. So every Tuesdays and Thursdays, what we do is we go to social media. We take the social media and create one post that day. No matter what time of the day, we create one post about the Niji. We create one post about us as the indigenous people. And we use the hashtag Niji. We use the hashtag Niji. We use the hashtag 13%. Okay. We use the hashtag indigenous people. We use the hashtag American Indian. We use the hashtag Indian. There's a couple hashtags that we use. We were always here. We were already here. That's another hashtag that we use. Niji of Turtle Island. You know, I mean, get inside it. See, the reason why I'm saying that is for you to go to these tags. Like if you're on Instagram or TikTok, click on those tags so you can actually see what we have been doing so far. Like it's just mainly educating the people. Hey man, we here, and it's been pissing people off, but at the same time, a lot of people are learning and they coming over here want to learn, and that's a very good sign. If you would love to participate in that, man, we highly recommend that you do it every Tuesday and Thursday. Every Tuesday and Thursday. If you like more information on that, do I have the flyer? I don't believe I have the flyer on me. I'll make sure. Not even me. Look, the app is gonna get over now that I said that. Specifically Blue. She gonna make sure. I'm reminded to post that flyer, but you could join the 13% community server also, because it also gets posted in there. But yes, that is a very good point. That's a very good point, Mello. Make sure that you spell Niji correctly. N-I-I-J-I on those hashtags, please. N-I-I-J-I. Please spell it correctly. Yes, I'm still fasting. Why? Why you asking me that? You look, it's the let me stop. Why you? I'm good. You know, I'm good. I'm sizing him. I'ma fix him a plate. Yeah, girl, cause he's single now. Watch, I'm about to send him a plate. Drop your P.O. box, Dane. I'm just playing. I'm faster too, Unc. Don't call me Unc. What? That's oh my God. You just made me old as hell. Don't do that. Unc. What? Jesus Christ. Damn. Man. I'm not, look, okay, I'm not old. You know what I'm saying? Like, relax. I'm not an uncle. I'm not even an uncle in real life. You know what I'm saying? My oldest hasn't had children yet. You know, and wait, uncle is, I said that wrong. That would be, damn, I tore that up. Hold on, cancel that. I'm wrong. I am an uncle. I'm tripping, bro. I said that wrong. My sister had children. See, I told y'all I'm tired, okay? I haven't actually, I took a nap, but it wasn't a nap because I had to do other things. But, so yeah, you probably can call me Unc tonight only, okay? Because, yeah, I tore that up to pieces, bro. Yeah, I'm tired. Coffee on the way. I heard my daughter say, she was gonna be fixing me, some coffee or something. It could be Dane. One of them. I told them I'm going live, and one of my children about to hook me up with some coffee because they know I'm about to go live and I can't run downstairs. Hopefully, when I start getting the camera, y'all gonna have to come with me downstairs, and y'all gonna have to be old skitty, as my grandfather say, and just wait until I fix my cup of coffee. You understand what I'm saying? I should get one for up here. That would be nice if I put like a coffee machine in here, you know what I mean? And just make the coffee while I'm here, live. Even when I'm on camera, ain't no shame in my game. Ain't nothing but pour coffee in it. But yeah, once I get my coffee, we gonna be straight. We gonna be straight. We gonna be all right. But yeah, I love no sugar shakes. Right now, that's my favorite thing right now, with no sugar. That's my favorite thing. Like smoothies, not shakes, smoothies. I don't know why I kept saying, I said that earlier today, but smoothies. Yeah. Yeah, I'm getting a TV crew. Yeah, I'm getting a production crew. Because I already have certain pieces of equipment. Now all it is hiring the right people that know what they're doing, And then I'm going to have them follow me around. Yeah, we gonna do that because people were asking me to do that anyway. And I think it's time because it would be fun. At the same time, we could go to so many different places and y'all could just follow me. But I'm probably not going to be doing a 24-hour live stream right away. I'm going to tell you that right now. I am a little older and I do have churn and, you know what I'm saying, I like my private life, you know what I'm saying? So it ain't going to be no 24-hour, like, you know, I don't know. I'm not saying it won't ever happen, but definitely not right now. Not right now. Oh, so it was Dane, y'all. Hey, can y'all do me a favor and give my son Dane a round of applause? His birthday coming up. I'm putting him on the spot. He right. Hold on, come here. Which one? This ice? This don't? No? Come here real quick. I appreciate that. Come here real quick. Dane's birthday getting ready to come up. My bad for putting you on the spot. Hold on, you live too. You better not curse on this microphone. You understand me? Don't start no shit on this microphone. Here we go.
Oh, see everyone. Thank you for the happy birthday.
You not standing, you not in the mic.
Not the mic. Thank y'all for the happy birthdays. I'll see you.
When your birthday coming up, Dane?
October 18th.
October 18th, y'all. My son getting up there. Dane getting up there. I appreciate that, Dane. You see them showing you love, right? Oh, come here. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Here come Paige. Come here, Paige. Come on. That's right. Don't get shy. Don't run. Come on. Come here. Hold on, y'all. Now, Paige is right up under Dane as far as age is concerned. Come here. You ain't got to say too much. It's just OC, yo. Come here. You got to sit in the mic. Come on. Don't be shy. No, you still shy? All right. She shy like her mother. She don't want to say nothing. All right. Okay. Thank you, baby. That's Paige. You know, I should just post a picture of you real quick. No? Okay. I might. Don't talk nothing. Y'all better not. If y'all act up, I'm posting pictures up. That's right. Thank you, babies. But yeah, it's a lot of Libras. You know, it's a lot of Libras out there. You know, y'all know we in this industry pretty heavy as far as Libras are concerned. I'm not trying to go there because it's going, but I mean, you know what I'm saying? I'm a September Libra, you know what I mean? But it's a lot of October Libras. It's a lot of Libras that I didn't even know were Libras. So they actually are, this was the year where we said, hey man, look, say happy birthday today. You know what I mean? Something like that. We usually don't be, the majority of us are usually to ourselves and like we're introverts. But when we get outspoken, we go, but it's more like, yeah, we got that private side to us. We want to be hanging around and stuff like that. And we in and out, we'll come say hi, then we say bye, we out, it's like that now. I'm noticing that. Like I'm not gonna lie, when I was younger, it was kind of the same way when I was like in my 20s, but because I ain't do a lot of club hopping, and I know I'm not a lot. I did go to clubs and stuff like that, but not a lot. I didn't do that a lot. But yeah, I mean, plus those days are over with. I'm gonna tell you that right now. You won't catch me in no. Well, hold on. Let me stop before they clip me, and then all of a sudden I'm at a club somewhere. Remember when Dane said this in 2025, and what I'm saying? Like, let me stop right now. All of a sudden, somebody booked me to do a walkthrough. You know what I'm saying? I'm at the club. Look at Dane. Yeah, but shout out to all of y'all, but definitely shout out to my fellow Libras.
Set it on fire.
Shout out to y'all for sure. I know. Hold on. Hold on. We could talk about every sign, but right now it's Libra season. You know what I'm saying? Let us have our season, please. Let us have ours. It ain't gonna be too long, y'all. Hold on. Y'all about to have y'all time. Hold on. Hold on. But now we good people though. I know some of y'all gonna be like, nah, y'all this and y'all that. Nah, actually Libras are very good people, male and female. We're very good people. I'm scared of the female Libras. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I'm not gonna say too much, but I'm scared of y'all. The female Libras, I'm afraid of y'all. But yeah, man. Shout out to my fellow Libras, male and female. Dane, I thought you was a Virgo. I'm a Libra. September Libra. Yep. And I thought Dane was gonna land on my birthday. Man, oh my God, bro. I was so happy. I was like, yeah, come on, Dane. Come on, hurry up. I thought he was going to land on my birthday. I was about to be so excited. I was still excited, but man, that boy waited so long. I was like, God damn, right? Almost damn near a whole damn butt. But at least he's still a Libra. I give him that. Your sister Libra and the middle child. Oh, well, you know, she gonna be all right. You get Virgo vibes from him too? I'm not a Virgo. Like people say they get Virgo vibes from me or they'll get Leo vibes. I heard Leo. People thought I was a Leo as well. But now I'm a Libra. Mm-hmm. A man of many talents. A balanced man. You know, a real deep thinker. A reader. Nosy at that. I like to read everything, in which we about to get into some things. Let me jump ahead now because I want to talk about that. Damn, should I start off with that now? Yeah, I might as well. Damn, because we so in a good mood, I don't want to go into the negativity that fast, bro. All right, so let me warm it up then. Let me warm it up because I'm just saying I'm going off a vibe. You know what I mean? Let me go off the vibe, and the vibe's strong, and it feel like not right. I mean, I'm about to talk about what what the title is and the thumbnail. Just give me a second. You know what I mean? Because it's like, man, it was just so good. And I know when I got to cover the negativity, I always try to bring in the positivity to bring people's spirits back up simultaneously. But yeah, when I feel it, I'll be like, nah, let me wait. You know what I'm saying? I felt it. We on good terms. We on good vibes. We talking to each other back and forth. And even, when I get on camera, y'all gonna see my facial expression. I'm not playing. I really felt good right there. And I really didn't want to bring this negativity in that fast, man. I could take my time. I appreciate that because it's like, not right now, man. Let me pull something else up, like on a lighter note. Okay, so it's a little controversial, but it's still on a lighter note, right? So hopefully there's gonna be something coming up about this soon that I'm gonna be going into. Should I say that now? Okay, so let me play this video, right? There's this video where there's people that are dressing up their houses. You may see it in your neighborhood because a lot of people are dressing up their houses for Halloween this year, more so than any other year before. And that's alarming. And hold on, I know y'all like, what? Dane, where you going with this? Hear me out on this note. Because what Halloween represents and what it's all about. Now, I know a lot of y'all gonna say it's the celebration of death, but there is a ritual behind it. Okay, and the ritual has to do with death, but it's about letting go people that try to do harm to you. It's being returned to sender. Like this is one of those moments where a lot of people do some rituals that will, make whatever negativity people were trying to throw at you back at them. Now keep in mind, it could be vice versa as well. I'm just letting you know, it could be vice versa as well. Like it depends on that person, but usually you will find people taking that time to do that type of celebrating the death in respects to the person that they want that to be placed upon. Now, I'm gonna play a little clip, right? Hold on, I'm gonna play, before I play the clip about the Halloween part, let me play this little clip really quickly, and I'll go into this at another time, but I'm also, showing love and sending a shout out. This is a hidden message.
Because they wanted to get real creative. And Spirit said truth. Somebody in your family is having their attempts. The attempts made on your life redirected back into their own. Somebody is not going to make it till the end of this year, but that's just how it's got to be to make sure that you move forward and somebody leaves you alone and stops trying to mess with your destiny. I heard it's got to end.
Now, I'm not, hold on, let me pause right here. Now, some of y'all are going to turn, your nose up at this. Like, wait a minute, Dane, you got to understand, like when we dealing with the indigenous bloodlines and spirituality, a lot of the medicine men and women did things like this, like tarot card readings, where they would cast their spells and rituals. Like, keep in mind, this is not just in respects to what some Africans do, okay? Some, not all, just some. It's just because they broadened or brightened it up in order for you to see it clearly that, you know, they did do some of that in Africa. That does not mean that that did not happen over here and in other territories outside of America, okay? Like some of y'all may say this is ritual work. Some of y'all just may say, oh, these are witches. And I agree with you. You do have warlocks who are the men that are the witches, and then you have witches who are the female witches, you know. But again, you had those types of people inside of, I'm gonna just say, the majority of the families, the tribes. You had a medicine man and medicine woman. Yes, there were warlocks and witches, and they've been around for a long time. Like, we're all spiritual people, but I'm talking about people that actually just deal with the spirit, and that's their day. Straight up, day and night. That is their routine. Okay? That is their routine. But the reason why I'm bringing this up is because it's in relation to Halloween, and this is not trying to scare you. It's just to let you know what people are doing now. You're going to see a change. And I'm telling you this because I'm getting ready to play a video, and you're going to notice within your own neighborhood, if you're in a neighborhood full of houses, or if you go to a neighborhood full of houses, you're going to notice that a lot of people are dressing up the outside of their home, okay, in preparation for the celebration of Halloween. And it's not for the holiday per se. That's not a holy day. That's not a pagan holiday. That one is a little bit different, okay, than what you think or than what you may assume, okay? You're getting a chance, you're getting the opportunity to open up another door to make things work in your favor. I'm going to be going into that soon, but not at this moment. But let me play this video real quick, because some of the stuff you may consider it going too far. Watch this.
In South Carolina, this frightening scene appears all too real. Flames tearing through both stories of this suburban house outside Greenville. But the message from the home's owners, please stop calling 911.
It's all lighting.
Did y'all see that? Hold on, let me show y'all this real quick before we go any further. Do you know somebody dressed their house to look like it's on fire? Y'all saying it was low? Hold on, let me boost the volume. Let me boost the volume. Look, that's somebody's house. They made it look like it was on fire for Halloween. Are y'all listening to what I'm saying? How'd they do that? Watch this. Look.
In South Carolina, this frightening scene appears all too real. Flames tearing through both stories of this suburban house outside Greenville. But the message from the home's owners, please stop calling 911.
It's all lighting. Each window has its own little setup.
It's just the latest over-the-top Halloween decoration from Sam Lee and his fiancée Amanda Pedden. All smoke and lighting. The display, they say, is a hit with most neighbors.
Now, let me ask y'all this real quick. Would y'all do this? Y'all think they jinxing themselves? Or, hold on, now see, it goes back to the rituals. What if they jinxing somebody else? You see what I'm saying? What if that was, see, you could work, you gotta, see, that's why karma works both ways. I'm trying to simplify this. The best way that I can. That's why karma works both ways. It could work for both good and bad. So based off of what you do, yeah, depending on what you state out there into the atmosphere, yes, it could be working against you. But what if they actually set or stated an affirmation or ritual rather to make that a reality for someone else that they want up off of them? You understand what I'm saying? Then it would work in their favor. Okay? Don't get it twisted. It's people like that that's out there today. Okay? They will do stuff like that. They are casting spells. So don't assume that just because, for example, they're Caucasian people, that they don't know what they're doing. Okay? No, they know what they're doing. And that's not like, okay, of course, it could be innocently looked at as a strikingly lifelike event, right? But that doesn't mean that it's necessarily true or reality, right? So again, if it's not reality in their reality, they could be pushing that on someone that they want to. You see what I'm saying? They want that to happen too in their reality. And of course, they're not going to say that in the news, or at least I don't think so. If they slip up and say something, I'm going to go back a little bit because they could be saying something underlining. I'll listen for it.
It's all lighting.
But I doubt they're going to say anything.
Each window has its own little setup.
It's just the latest over-the-top Halloween decoration from Sam Lee and his fiancée Amanda Pedden. All smoke and lighting. The display, they say, is a hit with most neighbors.
We do have a 1% that, don't like it, and that's understandable. They're entitled to their opinion. But we do it for the community.
If this is too far, what's not too far? What's the line? And who's to say what that is?
The couple gave the fire department a heads up about their elaborate display, but that hasn't stopped the calls from coming in.
Does this in any way take away from resources in a smaller fire department?
No. Granted, we're lucky. We're a block and a half from where the house is at our main station. So regardless, if somebody calls, we're going to go.
But authorities are cracking down on other displays. In Stan, Kentucky, a 58-year-old man was arrested and faces charges for these fake body bags depicting local politicians in his front yard. And in Alabama, controversy.
Oh, wait. Let's not let that slide. So he got in trouble for posting a fake body bags of politicians. Now, that's also a ritual. Okay? That's also a ritual. Now, of course, he could be using it as an excuse just like everybody else is, but they know what they could be using Halloween for. They could be using it as an excuse to say, hey, that's a Halloween decoration. But they know what the hell they're doing, okay? Don't get it twisted. Do not be fooled. People are working in that type of realm to try to get something done to become their reality, to work in their favor. Again, karma works both ways. Okay. And so the spell work.
Where the house is at our main station. So regardless, if somebody calls, we're going to go.
But authorities are cracking down on other displays. In Stan, Kentucky, a 58-year-old man was arrested and faces charges for these.
I don't know what the SIS is, but district judge, the CA, zoning manager. Wow, he probably going after his local government.
Fake body bags depicting local politicians in his
he said local politicians.
Front yard. And in Alabama, controversy over this display from the wife of Mobile County Sheriff.
This is a very sad.
Now that's a little racist. Ooh, I'm not gonna lie. That's a little racist right there. That's like similar to like it's almost depicting Mexicans hopping over the gate and ICE. Wow. Now I'm not gonna lie, that's messed up. Now that right there, that's messed up. We're gonna be talking about that, but god damn, they went a little too far with that, bruh. Like, first of all, ICE is after immigrants. Okay, not just Mexicans. And they trying to make it seem like it's only Mexicans who are the immigrants. And I'm going to tell you right now, the Mexicans are closer to North America than anybody else that's here in America. Hold on. Mexicans are the closest to North America than anybody else here in America. Like, I'm just saying, like, they are literally right beside us. Like, come on, bro. Like, I mean, I'm talking about that's in America that are not from here. That's what I mean by that. Let me clear that up. I'm talking about people that are not from here that are living in America. They're not their motherland is definitely not as close as what is it? Mexico. Not as close as Central America. Okay? And that's messed up how they're trying to treat it. It's almost like they're sending a message. It's always something against the indigenous people. It's always something. And keep in mind, the Mexicans are indigenous to that landmass. Well, I'm not going to take that from them. Okay, they just wasn't called Mexicans. You know, that's a different topic. But I mean, you know, it is what it is, man. But this right here, that's equivalent to them posting up like racial slurs back in Jim Crow times like racial messages like this or symbolism back at Jim Crow times. This is bad. I'm not gonna lie.
Wife of Mobile County Sheriff.
This is a
Oh, and that's in Mobile, Alabama? Wow. Remember when I was in Mobile? I'm going to tell you right now, when I was in Mobile, I didn't see Mexicans. Now, I could be wrong, but I barely saw Mexicans in Mobile, Alabama. And we were down there for 3 days, and I didn't see. I saw nothing but Niji people and Caucasian people. I did not see them. But, I mean, again, I'm not trying to say that they're not there, but I didn't see them.
sad situation.
Skeletons dressed in serapes and sombreros being chased over a fence by other skeletons dressed as ICE agents. The sheriff's wife, Michelle Alfonso Birch, calling the display tongue-in-cheek, as this year even Halloween displays are fueling the flames of the country's political divide. George Solis, NBC News.
We thank you for watching.
Man, I'm not gonna lie. That one is racist. That one is racist. No, not that one. I'm talking about this one. This one is hella racist. That shouldn't have flew. This one, I mean, that's sending a message, you know. He put it outside in his yard, you know, and he got himself in trouble, but there's no telling. There's people out there that's doing that inside of their house. Okay, now, this right here, as far as the burning house is concerned, this scene, where's that picture? Let me go back. Like right here, their house is burning like that. Ain't nothing but I mean, you can tell that's fake right there, but goddamn, when you look at it at night, man, that thing look real. That thing look crazy. But you could tell, like somebody said earlier, why would they be jinxing themselves like that? But I'm just saying, they could be doing this, again, to push it on to someone else. It could be their neighbors. It could be one of their coworkers. It could be one of their bosses that they, you know, at the job that they work for. It could be anything. They want this to be a realistic scene for somebody that they want it to happen to. But don't get it twisted. People will utilize, to go back to the Halloween situation, people will utilize that day to celebrate, you know, of allegedly celebrating death to push out these type of rituals. And they don't even wait to that day, but they definitely know it's amplified around that time. Okay. Now, I know that was a little controversial, but at least that was a lot lighter than what I was getting ready to go into. I'm going to still warm up into it. Let me still warm up into it. I want to point something out that I saw not too long ago. Somebody sent me a couple of these videos, and I was only able to get one of them because I forgot where I put the other three. But I was telling people inside of the 13% community server that they created this thing called the bot farms. And let me explain what that is. A bot farm is what you see online and stuff like that, where you'll see, for example, good time for me to put this in here. There are impersonating accounts out there that would claim that they're me and try to entice you to go call them on Telegram. Right? Y'all seen that, right? Now keep in mind, I don't have a Telegram, and that's not me. Y'all know when it's me because I have a verified check mark. In fact, I'm verified on every social media platform, if with the exception of TikTok. But yeah, so okay, the reason why I'm saying that is because they create not only those bot accounts, but they also create bot accounts that will reply as comments, and you can actually buy these things. And I see it's a lot of people, for example, like question everybody that has a following on Twitter, and then question everybody that has a following on TikTok, because this is and Instagram, because this is where this is mainly coming from. It's mainly or mainly used for. It's mainly used for Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter especially. Like Twitter is their number one source of income. They'll create these bot farms, and let me show you what they look like. It's nothing but cell phones automatically connected to a particular program that will send out certain messages up under multiple different accounts. You see this? This is called, I'm talking about bot farming for real, a whole facility. Look at that, top, bottom, nothing, hold on, go back. Nothing but cell phones. I want y'all to see this. Because you said why? Because people buy, this is like when they buy followers or when they buy subscribers or when they buy comments, buy views. This is what this is for. And there's plenty of people that do this, that will go and manipulate their numbers. Plenty. It's a lot of them. Like, it's even large corporations that are involved doing this. Yeah. So, like, you got the bot comments, the bot views, all of this is this. This is a bot farm. Right here. And this is real. And it's right here in America. It's other ones in other countries as well. Don't get it twisted. They're doing it, especially in China and Japan. They definitely doing it in China and Japan, for sure. But yeah, don't get it twisted. They're doing it in America also. Right, like to bring up Kendrick Lamar. Remember when they called out the Kendrick Lamar? But it's not him, but it was his record company. His record company, bought all those bot accounts. And remember that Spotify cracked down on people using bot views. You know what I mean? Or botted streams. This is one of the facilities. So don't get it twisted. I'm just showing you that because we were talking about that yesterday. All right. So that's that one, right? But just don't get it twisted. These things exist. Nothing but a phone. Look, no, they don't care what the phone look like as long as that thing can be connected to a power outlet where it's always going to be charged, and they have a particular cord connected to it, probably through USB or directly to the motherboard, looks like, in order for them to control it by way of software directly. Probably unlocked phones, bypassed, not up under no server network. In fact, like big server networks like Verizon, T-Mobile, and the rest of them, AT&T, nope. Just probably some old phones. I'm talking about probably barely $60. Yeah, and they got them packed in here and running on software where they can control them. So yes, numbers do lie. That's why I said I don't like that. Again, I'm going to say that again. Yes, the saying goes, men lie, women lie, but numbers don't lie. And I said, that's not true. The reason why is because the numbers do lie when it's men and women that control them. Straight up. All right, so the next thing I want to show you, right behind that, I want y'all to notice something. The time period that we're in, and I'm going to be leading this up to what, Trump has been doing in particular states. And I know some of y'all are going to be familiar with Agenda 2030. I'm going to lead into that. Okay. Now, when we think agenda, the first thing that pops up in my mind is agriculture, because they said they were, according to the Agenda 2030 documents, the number one thing that they wanted to do was get involved in agriculture. And who was that y'all know for a fact that got their hands involved in not only the pharmaceutical industry, in which we're going to go into a little bit here, but also the agriculture portion of it, of their agenda? There was a particular foundation. Which foundation was this, y'all? Bill Gates. I'm so glad. Man, clap. Oh my God, young. This is what I'm talking about, bro. I love y'all to death, bro. Y'all are on fire. Y'all are on fire. That's what I'm talking about, chat. Now, so he got his hands involved inside of the agriculture, and I can't even play that particular video. I do have that where he sat down with not Tucker Carlson. He sat down with the other guy, the Rothschild guy. Oh man, the news. Oh man, the one that always be looking serious. I forgot his name, but he sat down with him and had an interview. And he was talking about how he go to his favorite burger spot. Yeah, I know what I'm talking about. It was a 60-minute interview. What's that guy's name? I'm talking about Bill Gates, but yeah, he was getting interviewed by Cooper. Yeah, Cooper, right? Anderson Cooper. That's right. Anderson Cooper. Nah, not Alex Jones. What? Alex Jones would have had a field day on him. Not Alex Jones. Peter G. Peter G, thank you for the super chat, brother. I appreciate that. Yeah, Peter G, Bill Gates. Yeah, we about to get into it. So I'm actually about to play a video, and I want y'all to, yes, he also funded WHO. He also funded the WHO organization directly. It was the Bill Gates or the Gates Foundation. Okay. So he got himself involved in the agriculture because he wanted to take care or be involved in the Food and Drug Administration. I just want you to understand what he wanted to do. He said he wanted to pour parasites or pesticides over particular areas, okay, as far as fields are concerned that actually grow crops. And these are the same crops that were used. This was all a part of the Agenda 2030. That's correct. Yes. Yeah. No. Yeah. Agenda 2030 been around for a long time, even longer than 2015. But the documents just came out back around that time. Okay. I even got in trouble for displaying them on screen, but I still have them. And if you want something like that, you're gonna have to be inside of the 13% community server and ask me for that. Okay. But yeah, I have the official documents. This is and they get in full detail. They definitely want to. This is their agenda that they're trying to do. Unfortunately, I'm seeing it happen a different way as well when it comes to Trump. And I want to show you guys that because he is going to be the president until 2030. And I'm not sure if he's going to be the one to lead us into that direction. I hope not. I hope none of this stuff is true, man. I hope none of this becomes reality. I just want to make people aware. So there's Bill Gates. There's a video I do want to play where he was being interviewed about Robert F. Kennedy Jr. because Robert F. Kennedy Jr. talked about Bill Gates and exposing him on the pharmaceutical side of things. I'm still tired. Yeah, I gotta excuse me. On the pharmaceutical side of things, about his with his foundation. Like, why was he involved in that? But let me play this video and I want y'all to catch something real quick.
Well, he wrote a book saying that Tony Fauci and I kill millions of children and make billions of dollars with vaccines, and people can judge for themselves whether that's correct or not.
Okay. All right, come on. Now, what did the reptilian say real quick, y'all? Like, what did y'all catch right there? Oh, okay, so let me play it one more time.
Coming administration.
Well, he wrote a book saying that Tony Fauci and I kill millions of children and make billions of dollars with vaccines, and people can judge for themselves whether that's correct or not.
So what did y'all catch? So he's talking about the fact that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. pointed out him and Fauci saying that he eliminated millions of children based off of the vaccines and stuff, right? But he said that he didn't deny it. Exactly. He did not deny it. Y'all saw that, right? He did not deny it. He said people could judge for themselves whether that's true or not. He talking about you, fool. If it wasn't true, wouldn't you say it's not true?
Coming administration.
One more time.
Well, he wrote a book saying that Tony Fauci and I kill millions of children and make billions of dollars with vaccines, and people can judge for themselves whether that's correct or not.
And then on top of that, look at the body language, because as soon as he said it, he looked to the right. Look at his body language. Look to the right. Searching for the answer. What would sound good for me to say right here? All right, I got it. Then I'm going to return. You see what I'm saying? Peep game. Peep that, right? The person is in front of him, but watch his eyes and his body language. He's not even looking at her right there. The person is right here. He's not even looking at her. But just watch his body language.
Well, he wrote a book saying that Tony Fauci and I kill millions of children and make billions of dollars with vaccines, and people can judge for themselves whether that's correct or not.
Yeah, man, that's a guilty person right there, bro. That's a guilty person right there, but he has his hands involved in all of this. And I want to show y'all something before I play the Trump stuff. That there's a disease that's coming out right now called the kissing bug. Have y'all ever heard of this? I'm not trying to be funny. They're trying to be, man, they trying so hard, y'all. And I need y'all to, be aware of certain things. Again, this is not to scare you. This is just to forewarn you. Have you ever heard of the kissing bug disease? What's up, Mike? Y'all heard of it? Okay. Some of y'all said nah, but a lot of y'all said yeah. All right, now, those of y'all that don't know, listen, this is not funny. Pay attention. This is the news. Watch.
All right, new this morning, researchers say the kissing bug disease.
Dang, this is the news, but you played CNN. Listen, I'm playing everybody that's going to be talking about this particular topic. Okay? We all know these news stations got agendas, but that's the reason why you got to what? And then spit out the what? You fill in the blanks right there. Come on, come on.
All right, new this morning, researchers say the kissing bug disease is now endemic in the United States and not getting the attention it needs. There are new warnings that cases are being dramatically undercounted. Let's get to CNN Chief Medical Correspondent Dr. Sanjay Gupta, who is here with us. First of all, I keep on reading this headline. What exactly are we talking about here with the kissing bug, and what does it mean to be endemic?
Yeah, so it sounds pretty innocuous, right? Maybe not that bad. Call it the kissing bug. This is Chagas disease, Chagas disease. A lot of people haven't heard of it because typically up until recently it's something that's been sort of confined to the tropics, to Mexico, Central America, South America. But like we've seen with other things, John, over the last couple of decades, as weather has gotten warmer, some of these tropical diseases have started to move further and further north. So I think we have a map. The map, you'll see sort of you're seeing Chagas disease now, kissing bug disease, in several states. The dark blue states are where it's endemic, and that basically means it's there as opposed to just people traveling to other places and bringing it back with them. They're actually getting infected in those states. That's what endemic means. So, you know, we're seeing it more and more. Kissing bug disease, it's called that because these bugs, these kissing bugs, typically bite you on the face. And they leave this sort of characteristic mark. When that happens, they oftentimes drop the parasite onto your face as well. And people will scratch at that, and that'll stick the parasite into your skin.
Hold on, y'all. I want y'all to notice something. Y'all remember when I was warning y'all about something that's very similar to this, right? Y'all remember? Come on, chat. What was I telling y'all about? I'm about to get ready to show you right now. I'm pulling it up as we speak. What was I showing you? What was I telling you that happened? The mosquitoes. That's right. The mosquitoes. Right? Now, okay, let me show you. In this live stream, where is it at? Right here. Look on the thumbnail. I said killer mosquitoes. And look who I got on the thumbnail. Bill Gates, right? This was 2 years ago. Right? I was trying to warn you again that they was going to try to push that again. That was now, hold on, no, that was a live stream 2 years ago. And then when you come back here recently, I tried to give it to you again 3 months ago. I tried. Of course, they suppressed that one. I tried to give you with Bill Gates on it again, right? Tried to give it to you. I was fault. So you can't tell me that Dane was not doing his part, trying to tell y'all what was going on. And now they got this one up under, I'm just saying, and they got it looking like a tick this time. But okay, let me keep going.
And that's what causes the infection. I think we have a couple of pictures of what this looks like. A shagoma, which is a typical sort of lesion that people get on the skin. It's pretty characteristic. There you see it. It can also oftentimes, John, get into the eyelids. People oftentimes will rub their eyes and inadvertently put that parasite into their eye, and that causes a pretty characteristic swell of the eye, something known as Ramona sign. I think there you go. There's a picture of that as well.
Yeah. Whoa. What? Have any of y'all experienced this? And be real, don't lie, chat. Be real. Have any of y'all experienced this so far? Rubbed your eye. You heard what he said? Yeah, you said it. Okay, no, I mean, that's very good. That's very good that y'all have not experienced this. I'm very thankful. Okay? I'm very thankful. But when y'all remember when I brought that back up, when I just showed you 2 years ago at that time, and they did that on Juneteenth, by the way, when a lot of our people was outside celebrating Juneteenth. Okay. Who's to say that this hasn't been around since then? Because remember when I showed you the patent in that video? Hold on. Let me show y'all something real quick. Really quick. I'm not gonna be. We gonna come right back to this video, but I gotta show y'all. Hold on. Let me click this video real quick. Cause I want to skip up to. Hold on. Let me show y'all when okay, look. Let me now right here.
What's interesting about this patent, or the invention rather, are a few things. Number one, look at the name of it. Do you see the name of it right here? Toxic mosquito aerial release system. And the invention was patented on the date of March 3rd, 2015. Are y'all ready to go any further?
Look, now this was the same time. Who was that just said that 2030? Who was that? Agenda 2030 said that correction. Hold on, y'all. I'm sorry. Y'all know I'm tired. I got my coffee, but let me say this correctly. I know I'm fumbling on my words a lot now, okay? I apologize. But somebody was in the chat indicating that 2030, the Agenda 2030 documents were put out on the 15th. You see, 2015. And you see that the date of the patent was March 3rd, 2015. Now, I want y'all to understand that these are not your normal mosquitoes. These were like aerial drones. They were robots. Watch, hold on. I'm gonna just play a little bit more.
Oh, this ain't no screenshot, baby. This the whole thing. Wait till we go into it. And this the whole thing. You talking to Dane Calloway?
Now, when they say, "Oh, Dane Calloway, conspiracy theorist," not when I got government documentation. Not when I have official records. You can't say that I'm a conspiracy theorist. I don't sit up here and just repeat what I hear without me doing my own proper research. I'm a nosy mofo. I'm going to find out what's going on. But I've been forewarning people about this, But because, of course, you're not going to take shit serious until shit pop off. And I'm trying to tell you, look, you need to know about this now so it won't pop off. You understand? Yes, paperwork party. I don't play no games. Not just dealing with history. I'm talking about everything that I speak about. I'm not going to say anything publicly unless I thoroughly investigated that particular topic. Okay? Thoroughly. I don't play no games. Sip the coffee, big bro. I appreciate that. I'm about to do that right now. I know you making, come on, Mile. That's how you feel? You making fun of me? I appreciate that, though, because I did need some of this coffee, though. So I'm going to let this play.
All right. Toxic mosquito aerial release system is the name of it. The invention was patented March 3rd, 2015. Now, you see the patent number right here, right? That's associated with it. And you also see the name of the inventor right here. S. Mill Calvert. This patent's applicant was under the company name, listen, T. Mars Associates. The T. Mars is Toxic Mosquito Aerial Release System Associates.
So that's going to be in the air.
And also
aerial
trustee
release.
for Toxic Mosquito Aerial Release System, CRT. Trust.
Wait, I forgot I had the boost on, so let me pause that. So that means, let me say that again. So aerial release system is meaning that they're going to be releasing this out to the public, releasing it aerial in the air, right? Toxic mosquito aerial release system. Let me skip up a tad bit because I want to go to the part where I'm going over the information. Okay, here we go.
Advice for the aerial release of mosquitoes includes
I'm reading this part right here if you want to follow along. I'm reading the abstract.
Manned aerial vehicle operable.
I'm sorry, y'all. Let me come back. I'm sorry for pausing like that. Let me come back a tad bit because I want you to hit the very beginning of the abstract. Here we go.
You will notice, hold on, let me bring it down a tad bit. You will notice that this patent was filed the year before on the date of November 20th, 2014. I want to read a couple of things to y'all. Let me read this right here, the abstract. Okay, the abstract is like telling you the idea of the invention. Okay, a device for the aerial release of mosquitoes includes an unmanned aerial vehicle operable by remote control. Listen. It carries a container holding a central processing unit, that is a computer, CPU, It carries a container holding a central processing unit and a mosquito breeding bin, which is a self-contained volume housing mosquitoes and a mosquito food having a toxin suitable to be transmitted by mosquito bite after the mosquito consumes the mosquito food. A release tube is connected to the mosquito breeding bin and sized to release mosquitoes from the mosquito breeding bin. A valve is connected to the release tube and is operable by remote control so that when open, the mosquitoes have an open pathway out of the container through the release tube. I'm going to show you. This is drawing one. I'm going to drop a bomb. This is no joke. None. Official government record. Look at that. You see the mosquitoes in there? They know that it's poisonous. They got the poisonous sign in there. This is a drone, ladies and gentlemen. Now, so I was telling y'all that, and I said it, this was 2 years ago, and I tried to repost it 3 months ago because I saw it was coming. Okay? Now, another thing I want y'all to understand is that Bill Gates is not the only one that's involved. I do have information on Elon Musk, and I'm going to be sharing that, coming up once I finish everything. I'm probably going to share it in a documentary format first, and we'll probably go over it during a live stream. But Elon Musk is involved as well. Was I surprised? No, but this is going to piss a lot of people off because it has something to do with those Teslas. And I know y'all about to turn y'all nose up when I say that, but I need y'all to understand that they were trying to tell you inside of a movie, okay, that they have remote control of those vehicles and they want to weaponize those vehicles. And I need y'all to see that because they already have this written down by documentation. I'm going to show you the documentation. Okay, I'm going to show you. You're going just like how I'm showing you right there. Trust me, I don't play no games. When I say I got it, I got it. I'm not joking. Yes, from Leave the World Behind. They showed y'all and Leave the World Behind. They showed y'all. And look, and Obama, believe it or not. Ooh, matter of fact, let me jump. Can I jump a little bit? Because believe it or not, Obama set this up. I want to show y'all something real quick about Obama. Y'all know they trying to lock Obama up, right? For treason. Have y'all heard that before? Now, let me wait for chat because I want to play something just in case y'all thought this was a conspiracy. I want to play. Y'all heard that before. Okay. Okay. Now look, I'm going to play the director of national. What is it? National security, national intelligence security. What's that lady's name? The Jew name. Either way, I forgot her name. Tulsi Gabbard. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Watch this.
Series and the algorithm. I know this is a question many of you have had.
Sorry.
Thank you, Tulsi. And we do want to take questions on this topic while the director has time for this topic. She will leave. I'm happy to take questions on other matters after that. But if anyone has questions for Director Gabbard, you're welcome to ask them. We'll start with our new media seat as always. Emily, go ahead.
Thank you. And Director Gabbard, this one is for you. Do you believe that any of this new information implicates former President Obama in criminal behavior?
Okay, did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear what the question was? Let me make sure that y'all heard the question, because if y'all did not, I have to repeat that. Let me know if I need to rewind that back. Drop the emoji, rewind that back if you want me to rewind that back. Are we good? That was loud and clear? So if it was loud and clear, drop loud and clear. But if you need me to rewind that back, let me know to rewind that back. Okay, so rewind that back. Okay, all right, listen to the reporter's question.
Thank you, Tulsi. And we do want to take questions on this topic while the director has time for this topic. She will leave. I'm happy to take questions on other matters after that. But if anyone has questions for Director Gabbard, you're welcome to ask them. We'll start with our new media seat as always. Emily, go ahead.
Thank you. And Director Gabbard, this one is for you. Do you believe that any of this new information implicates former President Obama in criminal behavior?
We have referred and will continue to refer all of these documents to the Department of Justice and the FBI to investigate the criminal implications of this.
For even former
The
President
evidence,
Obama?
correct. The evidence that we have found and that we have released directly point to President Obama leading the manufacturing of this intelligence assessment.
Listen. Look how this walked up under the radar. Did y'all know? This was, I want to say, less than a month ago. Give me a second. Let me see when that was real quick, y'all. I'm going to tell y'all the date. Hold on. I'm going to try. Give me a second. I'm going to try to find that date. I think this was like, it had to have been less than a month ago. Okay, I don't have it up right now, but it had to have been less than a month ago. This was alarming, bro. This was alarming. He was yes, you heard him. You heard her, I'm sorry. He was leading it. When I say that Obama is involved, a lot of y'all gonna be like, oh no. But look, this is coming directly from their intelligence. Look, listen to, okay, let's do this, the little part one more time. I'm sorry for repeating this, but I need y'all to hear it. This is very important.
We have referred and will continue to refer all of these documents to the Department of Justice and the FBI to investigate the criminal implications of this.
For even former
The
President
evidence,
Obama?
correct. The evidence that we have found and that we have released directly point to President Obama leading the manufacturing of this intelligence assessment.
Leading. Y'all heard that, right?
There are multiple pieces of evidence and intelligence that confirm that fact.
Wow.
Director Gabbard, thank you. So just two questions, but to begin on that. The president yesterday, you've inferred that the former president helped lead a coup. Based on what you now see, do you believe President Obama is guilty of treason?
I'm leaving.
The question is, do you believe if President Obama is guilty of treason?
I'm leaving the criminal charges to the Department of Justice. I am not an attorney, but as I've said previously, when you look at the intent behind creating a fake manufactured intelligence document that directly contradicts multiple assessments that were created by the intelligence community, the expressed intent and what followed afterward can only be described as a years-long coup and a treasonous conspiracy against the American people, our republic, and an attempt to undermine President.
Against the look, listen to her words. Against the American people and our republic. She didn't say
Trump's administration.
She didn't say democracy. I'm gonna let that sink in for a little minute. She said republic. She did not say democracy. Ooh, y'all gotta understand the war that's happening. Remember when I went over democracy and republic? Ooh, this is deep, y'all. This is so deep. She literally said in our republic, bruh. Again.
That directly contradicts multiple assessments that were created by the intelligence community.
This is spiritual
warfare.
warfare.
The expressed intent and what followed afterward can only be described as a years-long coup and a treasonous conspiracy against the American people, our republic, and an attempt to undermine President Trump's administration.
The Senate Intelligence Committee spent several years looking into this and unanimously agreed in a bipartisan fashion. Secretary.
Ah, man. All right, now. So, it's multiple people involved, okay? So when I say Elon Musk, I'm getting ready to put that stuff out. Now, here recently, Patel came out and issued a warning about America. And I'm moving on. I'm going to come back at the same time. I'm leading up to the Trump stuff that I'm getting ready to play. I'm leading up to it still. But I need you to hear what the FBI director just recently said. This was today.
Listen closely.
Here with more, FBI Director Kash Patel, beyond impressive. How do you have a 91% increase in such a short period of time? Does that mean that the last FBI was not working, or are they just working going after Trump?
It's really simple, Sean. The weaponization of law enforcement is over. The American people gave President Trump a mandate. President Trump gave me, as his FBI director, a mandate as well. Go crush violent crime and defend the homeland. And when you let good cops be cops, like the cops in the FBI and the local and state police officers around this country, they do their job. They get the mission done. As you relayed these stats, this is just 8 months on the job, Sean. We are up double digits on every metric of consequence when it comes to crushing violent crime. Finding kids, seizing fentanyl, arresting violent offenders. We haven't even gotten into our counterintelligence and counterterrorism work, which is ongoing at levels that this country has never seen before. But that's the beauty of these officers and agents. This is the work they wanted to do. And when you don't force them to politicize law enforcement and lie to federal courts to attack your political opponents and get secret search warrants and go spy on members on Congress, they get to go out into the streets and safeguard the community. Operation Summer Heat was our flagship program that the FBI led, and these are the results when you put cops on the streets and let them do their job.
Can you explain? I mean, you went to Chicago today. I mean, how does Chicago go?
You went to Chicago today. I'm leading up to the Trump stuff, y'all, because Chicago, y'all got to understand, I went over this back in 2016 and 17 about Chicago. They was targeting Chicago back then. It was also during the Trump administration. Remember, this is not the first time that Trump did this. Don't forget that he sent the militia there before. Y'all keep forgetting. He sent the militia there before, but now this time he doing it to Chicago and DC. I need y'all to see a pattern really quickly. I'm gonna get into it. Y'all go see.
Homicide rate 5 times that of New York City, which does not particularly have a stellar record itself. So you're trying to help the people restore law and order, and so they can be safe and secure, as I said to Todd, so they can pursue happiness, and you need law and order as a foundation, as a prerequisite. What did you see there?
Hold on, let me mention. Yes, in Memphis also, correct. In Memphis also, Memphis, DC, and Chicago especially. He did try to do Cali. But and Texas. He tried to do Texas, but he did Texas at Jane Helm 13. Y'all remember Jane Helm 13? I went over this years ago. This was 2015, 2016, Dane Calloway. I hope y'all can recall that because I don't have that whole old hard drive plugged up. So I can't pull up my old stuff unless I go back on my old channel. On my channel and go back to my old stuff. But I need you to understand the power that he got this time around. So now he got FBI, he got CIA, he has ICE, and he has local law enforcement and the military. I'm talking about Trump. Jade Helm takes me way back. Yeah, I was already talking about this years ago because it was leading up to the Agenda 2030. They already said what they were going to do. And this was a part of it. Now, some of y'all may feel as though it's for the good. In certain cases, it will be. But I'm gonna not in all cases. No. Don't confuse Project 2025 with Agenda 2030. That's totally separate. Now, what I am going to state is that some of that was in that was in Project 2025 was like certain bullet points of summarized agendas that was a part of their Agenda 2030. I will state that. Okay? But Agenda 2030 is way larger than Project 2025 as far as what their agenda is, because they got in full detail and hitting every aspect. They didn't leave nothing untouched. When I saw that they were coming after agriculture, that part right there was scary because that's affecting everybody at that point, including animals. They're not caring. Okay. And you cannot trust your government. I know y'all. I know y'all going to be mad when I say that. Some of y'all love this Trump administration, and I'm telling y'all, I don't trust neither party because it's higher people up than them. Regardless, it's higher. I know y'all not going to like that, but it's higher people up that are telling them what to do. You can't trust them, y'all. Y'all think this is going to be good. They just coming at the... All right, we go get into it. Let me keep going.
Except that you have a governor and a mayor that just don't believe in law enforcement, apparently. They believe in that defund, dismantle, no bail, reimagine philosophy.
We are taking the juggernaut that is demolishing the weaponization of law enforcement and bringing it to places like Chicago. When I was there today with Todd, we learned that the Chicago city streets have 110,000 gang members. That's right. You heard me right. They had 1,200 shootings this year alone, 360 homicides.
Hold on. Hold on. Did he just say over 100,000 gangs in Chicago? That's cap, bro. I mean, I'm talking about big cap, bro. Let me make sure I heard him correctly.
President Trump sent us into these cities quiet to side with those 1,000 gang members. Juggernaut that is demolishing the weaponization of law enforcement and bringing it to places like Chicago. When I was there today with Todd, we learned that the Chicago city streets have 110,000 gang members. That's
110,000 gang members. Okay. Now, that may be true. I'm not going to lie. Gang members, that may be true. I'm not going to lie. That part right there may be true. Now, that's when he said gang members. Nah, I thought he said gangs at first. But no, 100,000 gang members. That could be true. And what he's referring to is not the fact that they were involved in a gang, because they really can't tell anyway. It's not like these brothers and sisters out there wearing some type of garment that could say, hey, you know, I'm a part of this gang, and another one wearing another type of garment, whatever it is, saying that they're a part of that gang. It's not necessarily that. Okay? But they just assuming based off of who they pushed into the criminal justice system, okay, which was probably a population of 100,000. They're saying, okay, that they're all gang members. They're slapping a label, a false label on it, which could be people who are guilty, but a lot of innocent people. But he's considering all of them gang members. Now, that's the reason why I said that may be true, because now he's talking about, he's not even calling them citizens. He's just strictly talking about probably those who have been in the system in Chicago, which is unfortunate. But this is sad at the same time, because this is going to turn into something else that I'm going to talk about.
They had 1,200 shootings this year alone, 360 homicides. When politicians choose to side with those metrics and not their citizenry, thank God we have President Trump and this Department of Justice and this FBI going in there and crushing violent crime. And President Trump sent us into these cities quietly to set the stage, to set up for the National Guard, to see the success that we saw in Washington, D.C., in Memphis. The FBI has been leading the charge in every single one of these streets.
Now, listen, he said he said in D.C. and Memphis, and I need y'all to understand that I'm well versed on what's happening in D.C., and I'm sure the same thing is happening in Memphis. Now, I'm not saying that it's no crime happening in these three areas, okay? In fact, out of these three areas, they're saying that D.C. is the worst one. And I could tell you that, yes, violence is ridiculous in D.C. Ridiculous. I'm not going to deny that. That's the reason why I moved out of D.C., because it was getting worse. So I'm not going to sit up there and say that I did not see that, okay? But there are other things at play as to the reason why that happened. Now, of course, we could blame that it's brothers and sisters fighting and killing each other. That's the easy way out. But there's other things that are in play that they don't want to talk about as to the reason why our people are thinking in that sense mentally. Because if you change a person's frequency, you can control them. And out of all of these hoods in these particular cities alone, like Chicago, Memphis, and DC, and these, I'm talking about, go to the hoods, you're going to notice a common pattern. The common pattern is that there is a tower directly beside a lot of those hoods that are up high. It's going to look like a cell phone tower. Look closely. What I'm talking about has been verified. I already know what I'm talking about. Already know. They did the same thing in a lot of other hoods as well. They have towers right beside those hood areas, what we call the hood, or the neighborhood rather, or what they go call it the ghetto, right? Or they go call it the projects. I need you to see that there's always at least one or two towers directly beside that area. And guaranteed they are changing the frequencies within that area, and it's affecting our people. If you ever wondered why our people are going through what we're going through, that is the way that they manipulate people into doing things that they want them to do. Not just MK Ultra. They could change the frequency. Do you know that people can play a particular frequency right now and your body is going to have a reaction to it, both good and bad, or either or, depending on what frequency it's on. If you don't know about that, you need to be looking up the different hertz, because we are electrical beings and we work off of free. I know y'all gonna be like, nah, Dane, we're God's children. I'm not talking about that, y'all. Okay, I'm not talking about that. Yes, I agree with you. We're the chosen people, but hear me out. I'm talking about how we are going. Notice how they got to send an electrical shock on our heart if our heart stops moving. You got to understand that you are an electrical being. You are working off of a frequency. Okay, and we have all of this electronics, all of these electronic devices around us. And I'm telling you, your body, for example, your body, and watch next time, God forbid it does happen, but watch next time your lights go out due to a storm or something like that. Watch how your body feels like a big boulder has been lifted off of its chest. Your body reacts to your electricity being out. You're able to breathe. Listen to me, y'all. Your cell phone, it is emitting 4.3 to 4.6 gigahertz of radiation. Radiation has a bad effect on human DNA. Now, I say bad effect because I'm censoring it a little bit, but it can manipulate your DNA, ladies and gentlemen, and also manipulate your mindset depending on what type of frequency they put it on. But it's always a common pattern. You will see cell phone-like towers right beside these areas. Mark my words. You could clip this up, and I dare you to prove me wrong. I dare you. Oh, Dane, look, this is right outside this hood. I don't see no tower. I dare you to prove me wrong. I dare you. Clip this up. I dare you. It's a guarantee. And they're using it against our people. So don't think that our people, oh man, these youngest, man, it's a reason why they keep getting worse and worse and worse. Yes, we could talk about the educational system. Okay. Yes, we could talk about the condition that they're living in inside of their communities. Right. But they forgot to tell you that back in 2016, that there was brothers out there in Chicago exposing the fact that it was the government coming over there in 16-wheeler trucks dropping off crates of guns in the hood. Y'all remember that? When I posted that on my YouTube channel and YouTube took that down? That was one of my million-view videos that they took down. I did 3 parts on Chicago exposing it. Exposing it. And it was a guy that told you what they were doing in Chicago. He was in Chicago. They dropping them crates off. That's how they was getting them guns. They not going to no gun store, getting automatic rifles. Them boys ain't had that type of money. Not saying that they don't got no money. They got money now because they hustling, but I'm talking about back then. Come on, bro. Them banana clips and bro. Automatic rifles. You know how hard that is? You know what you got to go through to get that? That's not easy. But it sure was for them because it was dropped off in crates in each of the hoods. They knew what they were doing. And notice how this FBI director said that they're leading the charge in both Mississippi. In Memphis. Well, Memphis, Tennessee. Memphis, Tennessee, because they right beside Jai. But Memphis, Tennessee, D.C., and Chicago. That's a problem. And he's saying that Trump got that done. But don't forget, that was Trump the last time.
Because we know how to gather ground level intelligence, and we know how to put handcuffs on the bad guys, and we know that we have the backing of this administration. And most importantly, the agents at the FBI know that they have the backing of the American people and their government.
Can we talk about...
You don't never hear... See, and they try to make it seem like that, the criminals are going into neighborhoods where foreigners live at. That's not true. If anything, the foreigners are coming into neighborhoods where the needy live at. I'm just saying. They try to make it seem like they're going out there and killing other races. No, they're not. They're not going out there killing each other. Killing other races. They killing each other. So they trying to make it seem. You see what I'm saying? Like, why would that be? I'm just saying, put it together. It's not a threat to all of Illinois, for example. It's just not. You don't never hear white people saying, well, yeah, I'm not trying to move back there because it's nothing but violence. No, they coming there. Just not to the hoods. And see how they trying to make it seem like it's one thing and it's actually another? And that's also affecting innocent people that are in the hood at the same time. We're going to talk about it.
Lindsey Graham is
in
coming
more than
up,
one way,
very
too.
Angry during the hearing today, and I don't blame him. We had Jack Smith spying on elected United States senators and representatives, and they knew who they were calling, where they were calling from, where the person was receiving the call, who was receiving the call. You have fired the agents that were involved in that operation. What can you tell us about it?
Sean, I want to peel this onion carefully. Look, they put this information, those that weaponized the FBI and prior leadership at DOJ and FBI, they took this information where they subpoenaed 8 sitting United States senators, put it in a lockbox, put that lockbox in a vault, and then put that vault in a cyber place where no one can see or search these files. They're called restricted
We got to tell them some drama so it can make it seem like, hey, y'all, this is a soap opera. They were doing this. It was doing that and blah, 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 blah. You bullshitting. I smell bullshit on you. Like I smell bullshit on you during the Charlie Kirk situation. I smell it. I don't trust them.
Prohibited access. Restricted access means some people get to see it. Prohibited access, you put it in there when you want to hide it from the world, and that takes the authorization of the Attorney General and the Director of the FBI. So not only did they weaponize this law enforcement, but when we got in there, and when I got in as the FBI Director, from my...
Trying to make it seem like they not weaponizing law enforcement right now. They're trying to make it seem like they're not weaponizing law enforcement right now. Come on, bro. Now, I understand, and I agree that Trump should try to suppress violence in these areas. But why is it through the use of law enforcement? You got to fight fire with fire? I don't even know how that saying became a reality when you can only fight fire with water. I don't see firefighters hooking up to a fire hydrant and out fire. How comes fire? I never seen it. I never seen that.
experience is Russiagate, I knew where to look and what rooms to open and what doors to kick down. And that's what we did. We found this information to expose the politicization by Jack Smith and the prior Department of Justice. I mean, just think about it. 8 sitting United States senators, phone records were gathered and subpoenaed through the grand jury process, and it was buried and wormholed with the hope that no one would find it. So we're just scratching the surface here, but accountability is coming.
To me.
You're darn right I fired those agents. You're darn right I blew up CR-15, the public corruption squad that led the weaponization at the Washington field office. We're just warming up, but we are running our investigations to the ground. We are finding every single person involved. We will not leave a single room locked. We will go in through all the prohibited access requirements,
and going to different
we will
states
find the
and trying to
material
fight
and show
crime.
the American public, like we have done in this FBI, more transformative and transparent than any in the U.S. history, to bring accountability to the American people.
They're
And we
trying
will
to
work
get
with
the
our partners in
American
Congress
people
who
on their
should be
side.
furious at the prior administration's leadership and weaponization and singular politicization of law enforcement. The American public sees what we're doing, Sean, with the stats you just read off in the beginning. They see what we're doing here to develop, unseal the vault and show the world how the deep state actually operated. It's not a Republican fiction. This is what Donald Trump was put in place to do, and I'm honored to be his FBI director to lead this charge, and the men and women at the FBI, we're all in on this mission.
Director Patel, a 91% increase in arrests for
Trump
violent
hired
crime
him because he could
makes
talk.
Americans safer.
Trump hired him because he's a salesman. That's why. That's smart, though. That's smart. The reason why is because he could get people's attention like that. That's what Trump was after. If you looked at all of his hires, they knew how to talk. They knew how to sell themselves. It's a common pattern. They had to have the capability of explaining themselves even when the tough questions are asked. They got to know how to box and go around, step over, keep boxing. Tough question come. I dodge it, keep boxing, keep leading with the jab. That's what they doing. They boxing them. But if you look at the message under that, they're boxing you in. That's a distraction. He talked about a whole situation that we don't know nothing about, but that's happening behind the scenes, and he blaming the prior administration, and they were doing this, and we're investigating, and we're finding. Right. Let's just say that he telling the truth, right? Why does that matter? Because we want to show the American people that we're taking accountability for what we're doing, and our actions are transparent. Everybody can see what we're doing. No, we cannot see what you're doing. You're not showcasing what you're doing. You're talking about what you're doing. The only thing that we see that you're doing affects the American people. Unfortunately. Here goes Chicago.
We're going to go now to some breaking news out of Chicago. That's where we're getting reports of protesters clashing with federal immigration law enforcement officials. This video from our NBC station in Chicago showing what appears to be armed agents, many of whom are wearing gas.
So they coming to immigrants simultaneously, coming after our brothers and sisters in our communities. Not saying that not saying that ICE is coming. I'm just saying Trump's administration, that includes ICE, local law enforcement, the FBI, the CIA, the National Intelligence. The Army. That's a good point. That's a very good point, Mike. I mean, that's exactly where the KKK went. They went from that one uniform that was all white to a uniform that definitely reflects the same uniforms that local law enforcement will wear, especially when they're so-called policing the community, when their original history was supposed to be policing property. But who's to say that they're not policing property still?
Back then, they were supposed to be policing property. There was security of the property, whatever private property they were hired to protect. They were supposed to protect and serve property. So who's to say that they're not doing that still? We got a black male. I'm pointing out something again. We mentioned this yesterday if you were here during the live stream. We need to get rid of that term black. That's working against us. Because if you think about it, the director was talking about over 100,000 gang members. But he could just be saying, or anybody that's labeled the term black that has been arrested and been put in the system, either if they're out or not, they're a gang member. But the majority of the people in Chicago would know that it's not 100,000 gang members in Chicago. 100,000? Then that means that they outnumber the local police, the FBI, the ATF. They outnumber them. You don't have 100,000 employees. The only time that's going to happen is if you send in the military, and which he did before. So you mean to tell me since Trump sent in the military to Chicago back around that time, it was 2016, if I'm recalling correctly, you mean to tell me that you didn't fix the problem then, but you can fix the problem now? But if you didn't fix the problem the first time, that means you never met at the very root of the problem. In which I pointed out one cause, but it could be many things other than just them, manipulating the people by way of changing the frequency and radiation. But that could be the main cause. But let's just say, what are some other things, Dane? As an example, the music. The music. If you notice, me personally, I love the music that come from DC, okay? I love the music that come from Memphis, and I love the music that come from Chicago. I'm from DC. I love go-go. Memphis, I love the buck culture. I know some of y'all gonna call it a different name, the jugging, if I'm recalling it correctly, but I'm used to buck, like, because of 3-6 Mafia and all of that. And then Chicago with Chief Keef, that was my favorite young guy. I seen him, I could relate because he remind me of somebody from DC. All of us can relate. But I'm not gonna lie. When I went to Memphis, it was nothing but bad energy there. I felt it. I felt our ancestors crying. And I love the people. Our people were good. Yeah, man, yeah, man, I watched your YouTube, man. Man, that thing was cranking, man. Hey, man, shit, man, you know what I'm saying? I'm about to be watching that joint tonight. You heard me. I'm gonna watch that joint tonight, man. Yeah, shit, man, get up with me, man. I love Memphis. I love Memphis, and I love Chicago, and I love my people. Like, they good people, but it's negative energy. They got that done. That's on purpose, y'all. That's on purpose. Why y'all laughing? Oh, because of what I just did. Now look, because it's true. Like, I love they got my favorite. I love that accent. Memphis accent, my favorite out of all the accents. Memphis, my favorite accent. I don't know. Like, it's closely related to a couple other people. Like, you can hear a little bit of Kentucky. You can hear a little bit of, Alabama. You can hear a little bit of Georgia. But Memphis got that, It's like, I don't know. They got their own little, you hear me? Like, you can even hear Midwest a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But, there's just, how you dip down a little bit to Louisiana, you heard me? You heard me? You see what I'm saying? But it's close to them. They close. Like, it's the way you hear me. You hear me? I just love the way that go. I don't know. That's my favorite one. I love the fact that we all got different dialects because that's how it's supposed to be. But I love hearing it. You know what I mean? Like, people say that I got an accent and I can't hear it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't hear that unless I'm really heavy using my DC accent. Then I know, I'm probably using my DC slang. I'm slurring my words. But we got different ways that we slur our words. And I think, and it's just so happened to be called dialect. I love that, though. But yeah, to go back to that, yeah, they're attacking our people down there, man. And when we went to, Memphis, man, I could feel it. I could feel it. I ain't want to stay long. Just like I ain't want to, when I felt the energy getting real bad in DC, I wanted to go. And I told her, I said, it's time. I want to go. Like, it's a lot of people that be afraid to move when it's called for you to move. Oh my. Thank you for letting me say that. Somebody need to hear that. Woo! Some people are afraid to move when it's time for them to move, when they are called to move, when it's set, when it's sent to you by visual, when it's sent to your heart by feeling, when that vibrate, when they telling you to move, move. Now, that's not to say that people in Memphis need to move from Memphis. I don't want that to be, get misconstrued, but I'm talking about individually. Individually. The Spirit say go, go. You stepping out the way for a reason. But yeah, because at the same time, unfortunately it's a lot of innocent people that's getting hemmed up behind us on top of the immigration stuff happening. Now, I'm not saying that some of these, some of these situations or some of these races of people don't deserve to go back to their country, especially if they didn't come here going through their little legal process that they set up. Because I really don't like the fact that they're coming over here and receiving specialized benefits that's working in their favor by way of, it being a capitalist society. They automatically are granting certain people a higher credit score, for example, than the indigenous person here of America. You know what I'm saying? I don't like that. Like, it's not on equal ground. They treat it like they're higher than our own people, and our own people are not stepping up, saying something about it. Instead, they're going to the government, begging the government to change that aspect of something that they created in the past. They're gonna rub it in your face and say the forefathers wrote this. So, they never changed the law, but they always change the laws that work in their favor. When it don't work in our favor, we got to beg. And I keep telling y'all, that's the reason why we got to start our own. They're not trying to change nothing. We need to be owning these communities. Okay.
Gas masks confronting a large crowd in Chicago's East Side neighborhood.
According to Custom and Border Patrol via a DHS spokesperson, they were out doing some immigration patrols. We know they have that surge going on right now called Operation Midway Blitz. And this is according to their statement. They say an undocumented immigrant, quote, rammed a Border Patrol vehicle and attempted to flee the scene. That then led to a vehicle pursuit, and they used a pit maneuver to stop that vehicle. They say that's when the two people.
See, I'm gonna be honest with you. These immigrants coming over here doing that third world shit. This is what they used to. They used to this type of environment in their homeland. Now, this is not a knock to them. This is not. I don't want y'all to take anything personally. What I'm saying, I'm being fair here. Okay, let's be real. They're used to this type of stuff happening. This is happening in their own motherlands. That's the reason why they're trying to leave from their motherland. Okay, it's just so happened that they're here illegally, according to how, it's structured. But I'm just saying, yeah, if you were living there, you would want to leave too. When they tell you to move, you got to move. You see what I'm saying? But they looked at America as an escape route. America was always an escape route. You see how everything is owed to our people if you put it together? Because if it wasn't for us, it would be no them. They need to be kissing the ground that they're walking on. Our ancestors bled for this. That's why they dying to be here. That's why they also dying to be just like us. They want to be replicas of our culture. We got our culture. And it was very disrespectful that nobody really wanted to say something to one of the top streamers on Twitch about his take on so-called African Americans. No, but I agree to a certain degree because he said African Americans don't have no culture. I agree because African American is a misnomer, but who he was talking to was our people, and that's why I disagree. You know, because you're a part of it right now, and the only reason why you up is because our people helped you. And then you were able to reach everybody else, just like Speed. I saw both of them go up at the same time because my children were watching them. And he came out his mouth sideways like that. I was like, really? Like, it was a lot of them, though, that are doing that. He's not the only one. A lot of people from, for example, Central America and South America. Some people are out there not putting respect on our name, and they right here in our territory. See, this is where boundaries have to be set. Okay? Boundaries got to be set. Rules and regulations got to be set. Like, you talk about, oh, we got to be on code. Shoot, we got to be on code with ourselves first before we be on code with anybody else. Like, that type of behavior shouldn't be tolerated. People need to get put in their place. Again, they need to respect the ground that they're walking on. They need to recognize what it is. See, and the reason why they doing that is because they represent a part of their culture. They always going to say that they, you know, wherever they from, whether if they, you know, Haitian or whatever. I'm not trying to, you know, directly use them as saying that this about them, but yeah, isn't he part Haitian? You see what I'm saying? Like what makes you think, you know, that you got the right to say anything about the indigenous people of this landmass, and you know you owe them so much of your success right now, like stuff like that, you know. But see, the thing is that they're probably educated on that sense, as if our people won't say anything about it because of the current history of our people not stepping up to the plate, claiming on to the fact that we came from Africa. You automatically turning your nose up when it has to do with America, our own home. This is home turf. This is the motherland. Besides the fact that you want to cling on to Africa, you ain't even stepping up to the plate and standing on business of what you representing right here in America. In America, you was born here in America. So was your parents. So were your grandparents. So your great grandparents. Great. You gotta put respect on your people's names. And you got the nerve to talk about Africa like you owe them something. They owe us something, just like everybody else do. You need to straighten up and fly right. And you see the immigrants got mad at us because a lot of us wasn't talking about the fact that they were being deported. But that's been happening for years. Why is it being put on blast right now like we owe them something? And that's why I was so glad that it was immigrants out there letting them know, straightening out the other immigrants like, nah, y'all niggas owe the so-called black Americans. Y'all owe them. You tripping. You mean to tell me, come on, we all owe them. Like, if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be here. And I was so glad that it was immigrants out there respecting us. I'm glad to see that. You know what I'm saying? Don't get it twisted. And then I put that on my channel to let folks know that don't get it twisted. It ain't just these, you know, ignorant immigrants out there floating around. I'm not saying that they don't exist. They do exist. They floating around on the internet. Not everybody should have a mic that got a mic. Okay? But they need to get straightened out. Like a lot of our people, if you want to talk about something, talk about that. Talk about your folks. This is America. This is your land. You understand what I'm saying? You need to start making people and enforce people. See, this is the reason why we need our own shit. You got to start enforcing it. And people start putting respect on our names. See, that's why we got to have a structure. It's not about just building an army. It's about building a structure. Keep in mind, they already got these ideas from our people anyway. All they did was marked us, okay? All he did was marked us, copied everything that we had already in place so they could set themselves up, so they could succeed right here in the territory that they're unfamiliar with. It was a new world to them, remember? So we go back to what we had originally, which was the Republic. Which was the Republic. Which was the Confederacy. Which was the Confederacies. Where you think they got that idea from when it come to that flag? What about that eagle? What about them feathers? What about that arrow? What about that bow? What about that feather on that ink pen? What about that ink? What about that dye? What about that fabric? Okay. What about that tobacco? What about that cotton? What about that corn? What about them potatoes? We help them survive out here. What about that rice? What about that water? What about that buffalo? What about that fish? What about them fruits? What about Mother Nature's medicine? They got to put respect on our names. You can't let these people keep playing with you and act like we ain't got no history. I love y'all that much. I say this on and off camera.
According to their statement, they say an undocumented immigrant, quote, rammed a Border Patrol vehicle and attempted to flee the scene. That then led to a vehicle pursuit, and they used a pit maneuver to stop that vehicle. They say that's when the two people who were inside the vehicle began to flee, and those two who they say were undocumented were arrested. At that moment, a crowd, they say, began to form, and they confirmed that they used, quote, crowd control measures to help get agents out of there.
Crowd control measures, probably some smoke bombs, tear gas grenades. I mean, keep in mind, these are our communities. Like, I'm just saying, if we had ownership of our communities, none of this shit would be popping off. Right now. We wouldn't even need the FBI, the blah, 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 blah. We wouldn't need none of them. We will be policing our own communities. Shout out to the new Black Panthers, though. I'm not saying that, it ain't no people out there that try. But they need somebody ahead of them. We need a government structure again. Gotta have it the right way. Because we can't let no foreign government govern us when they have no right to do so. That's why they tying you down with citizenship. They did this on purpose. And Trump put it on blast. Now, again, Trump has did good things. He put a lot of things on blast for y'all to know. But he also told you that he still got to do what he got to do because they telling him what to do. He said, they after you. He was just in the way. He was trying to stop. I'm not trying to say that Trump wasn't trying. But as soon as he saw that swamp was too big, he had to back off. Either that or they was going to Charlie Kirk him. They gave him a warning. That's no bull. I say if Trump had Putin in his pocket for real, then Trump will be running the show for real. They will be scared of him. But when he couldn't control Israel, when he couldn't control Netanyahu, and remember he cursed, y'all remember that? He cursed on live television? That just shows you how much power Trump has. Listen to me, goddammit. It's unfortunate, but it's the truth. And y'all know it too. You should have known it that day as soon as he cursed on live television because he couldn't stop them. Look, here you go, issuing a warning. Look, hold on.
Mr. President, on Gaza, how long will it take Hamas to disarm, and can you guarantee that is going to happen?
Well, they're going to disarm, and because they said they were going to disarm. And if they don't disarm, we will disarm them.
How will you do that?
I don't have to explain that to you.
Look, you can't explain it? Why not? We will disarm him. Well, look, I can't explain it to you. Come on, bro. You know what's
But
going
if
on,
they don't disarm,
y'all.
we will disarm them. They know I'm not playing games. Okay, now
Yeah, I mean,
we did
I'm
something.
not gonna lie. See, Trump. See, I'm not gonna lie. Trump had me at first with the. Let me take a peek and see if he was gonna do some stuff, but nope, he can't, y'all. Unfortunately, I know how y'all gonna feel about that. No, Dane, you gotta have faith. No, I know better. I know better. There's more players involved, bruh. They trying to make Trump seem like he a dictator, and he's not. And he's not. I would want him, if Trump was a real dictator, then I wouldn't say nothing right now. You would want him to be a dictator, but he doesn't have that type of power. Nope, he don't. I know y'all gonna be mad at me, but he don't. No, he does not. Notice how he ain't say, you know what, we're gonna be looking into who did this to Charlie Kirk. He ain't even go to his own social media account, True Social. You know what, we're looking into this. We're gonna find out who did this. We're gonna stop them. There was more people involved. We're gonna catch them. He didn't say none of that. He wasn't saying nothing. But yet he given the Medal of Freedom to Erica Kirk earlier today. Trump was real quiet. Even Candace Owens pointed that out. I know I'm not the only one. He was quiet. And I mean, I wasn't surprised. I'm going to tell you right now, I wasn't surprised because he has no power over them. You got to understand who your enemy is, man. I'm not saying Trump the enemy. What I'm saying is Trump can't outdo them. Unfortunately, I know y'all gonna say different, and y'all can say it in the comments. It's okay. It's about that open dialogue. Long as you respectful, be respectful. You could disagree with me. There's nothing wrong with that. I expect for some of y'all to disagree with me on that. But I mean, the evidence is presenting itself. Like, you can see
Monumental. We got the hostages back. That was the first thing we had to do. Above all else, get the hostages back. Now, they misrepresented because we were told they had 26, 24 of dead hostages, if we can use those terms. And it seems as though they don't have that because we're talking about a much lesser number. But that's a very tough subject. I want them back. That's what they said. I want them back. Also, they said they were going to disarm. And initially speaking, they needed, they did take out a couple of gangs that were very bad, very, very bad gangs, and they did take them out, and they killed a number of gang members. And that didn't bother me much, to be honest with you. That's okay. We had a couple of very bad gangs. It's no different than other countries. Like Venezuela sent their gangs into us, and we took care of those gangs. We have Washington, D.C. is one of the safest cities in the country. It was one of the worst cities in the country if you go back just a little while ago, right? Now it's safe. You can walk to work. Isn't it nice? But we have told them we want to disarm, and they will disarm. And if they don't disarm, we will disarm them. And it'll happen quickly and perhaps violently. But they will disarm. Do you understand me?
Yes, you say
because everyone says, oh, well, they won't disarm. They will disarm. And I spoke to Hamas, and I said, you're going to disarm, right? Yes, sir, we're going to disarm. That's what they told me. They will.
All right, I want y'all to peep this. You heard what he said directly. Don't forget this. This is today. He said this today, right? Yeah, this was today, earlier today, 2 o'clock. Don't forget this. Now, if you disagree with me now, watch his move. Watch his move. That's a bold statement. So watch his move. Now, I want you to see his tone. This is at the same time, and now he's going to be talking about certain things that he's doing with China, and I want y'all to peep the tone. Watch this.
China trying to draw a wedge between the U.S. and Argentina by buying soybeans from Argentina and not U.S. farmers.
I would say so.
And China on the port fees.
China
they've
likes to
increased
draw
port fees on
wedges.
U.S. ships too.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I guess that's natural. It's China, and it's natural, but it's not gonna mean anything in the end.
Mr. President,
For Argentina, should Argentina end the China swap and close the space base in Neuquén?
I don't think you should be doing business much with. You can do some trade, but you certainly shouldn't be doing beyond that. Certainly shouldn't be doing anything having to do with the military with China. And if that's what's happening, I'd be very upset about that. Yeah.
See, he don't even know that that's what's happening. He said if that's what's happening, he'll be very upset. He can't do nothing about it, y'all. What? They doing something to the stream? Are we good? Wait a minute, chat. Are we loud and clear? Yeah, and the tariffs are working against us. On top of that, the tariffs are working against us because as soon as he raising the prices up for these foreign countries, right? All they doing is raising the prices up back on us. And that's a given. Because if they gotta pay more, then they're gonna make the American suppliers pay more for their product. In turn, that's gonna come back to us because the American suppliers are gonna raise it up to the, for the consumers so they can make their money back up. There's no gift in that. It was always the curse. Like that is going to always affect the consumer. They always put it back on the consumer. Like same thing with taxes. They put it back on the consumer. The businesses never come out of pocket when they pay taxes. Not when they got employees. The employees pay the taxes for them. Peep game, y'all. Are y'all paying attention? That's why we need, yes. That's why we need our own. This is why we need our own. So here go ICE clearing out Chicago.
We do have some breaking news that takes us out to Chicago. And for more on that, we're going to head over to our Fox 32 Chicago
and I want
team,
you to peep
where
the audience,
there is a helicopter over the scene where an ICE vehicle collided with another vehicle.
Let me keep it going.
And that has led to some chaos right there. I'm Stephanie Quinu. You are watching live now from Fox. Christina Tino, my colleague, will carry our coverage in just a bit.
There's such a contentious. So sometimes they do go in to the police, the district office there to the police. And in the past, that's what they had been doing. I don't know that they're still doing this because this has gotten so contentious. But they would go in and just kind of inform local police, hey, we're going to go to 105th and Avenue N. There's something.
Yeah, you wonder, had someone, were there people leaking where they were going? They were fearing for their safety, and that's why?
As bad as the relationship is between...
Look at that. Look at that. Can y'all see this? I hope y'all can see this. Look at that flag
public
right
officials and the federal government right now.
Look, whose flag is that? Now keep in mind, this is in Chicago.
They have maintained somewhat of a dialogue with the police, and Snelling has mentioned that. Again, just going in and informing them, we're going to be here, just so you know. Just so you're informed. We know we can't, per the law, you can't come help us.
I want y'all to think of the message here, because they did the same exact thing in California. They did the same exact thing in D.C. They did the same exact thing in New York and other different places where you see a protest. They always call it a protest going on. And it's always ISIS versus, alleged illegal immigrants. There's always a Mexican flag up. You see how they doing this? Like, if you here illegally, let's just think about the logic here. If you are here illegally, right, and you want to stay, wouldn't you be holding up an American flag and not pointing out the fact that you from Mexico directly? Like, yeah, we Mexico here, and this is not Mexico. Like, why are you over here trying to live here, but holding up a Mexican flag? Like, see, think about that. You drawing attention to yourself like that. You ain't trying to get deported. But if I get deported, I'm going to hold up this Mexican flag. Yeah, I'm going. No, you trying to stay clear away from there. The cartel took over, right? This is scripted. This is scripted. It was people in California. When I played, well, I mean, all of y'all seen it. When they were up on that bridge and, oh, where was that at in LA? And there was a whole lot of people outside, right? Holding up Mexican flags. They were saying they was holding. Do you know it was people out there in California verifying that never happened? They was like, wait a minute. I just went through there. They was all saying that on Twitter and everything. I just came through there. That wasn't right there. Wait, what traffic? Blah, 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 blah. I was like, wait a minute. Y'all, that's not real? And I almost forgot, y'all. I almost forgot that they could do AI like that. They can make it look like, I almost forgot, y'all. That almost caught me because that looked so real. It looked 4K. I was like, wow. And I forgot AI technology is that good. At that time, I was like, God damn, I saw many people saying that never happened. Some people even went back and took pictures of the area, recorded it with their with their phone. Like, wait, where did this happen? But they were trying to make it seem like it happened right then and there at that time. They could have previously recorded that. You see what I'm saying? They could have previously recorded that, made it seem like, hey, we shooting a movie right here on the bridge, da 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 da. It could have happened one day, but it didn't happen that day. And notice how they trying to put it on Mexico. Like the whole point, they trying to make it seem like Mexicans is the immigration problem. That is big cap. Huge. Big cap. They doing that on purpose. And notice how you see in the cameras or the news and they capturing this. We got the footage. We got the exclusive footage, blah, 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 blah. And whole time it's a scene, y'all. Even if it's not AI. And they did this in real life, it's still a movie set. All of a sudden, the news get tipped that a protest happened and ICE gonna be there and they gonna be having flags up. Why you protesting right here in a neighborhood? Like, that you don't have, you see what I'm saying? No control over. This ain't your territory. You trying to hide if you're an illegal immigrant. You ain't trying to be seen. You ain't trying to be seen. You're not out here where ICE can easily grab you up and detain you and try to run you. You ain't gonna be out here like, yeah, look at me, I'm from Mexico. That don't make sense, bruh.
Raid a house, but you should know for public safety purposes where we're at. And Snelling has said that they've still kept that dialogue and that communication. As you see, police clearly are there. I can attempt here to get some further clarification from the police department.
Yeah, why don't you try to do that? And then I'm just going to give people a lay of the land who might just be joining us. So around 12:28-ish this afternoon, we got a tip via Skyfox that there was some sort of federal agent activity.
12:28-ish? You could have said around 12:20-ish. You said 12:28-ish. Like, what are you counting? Are you counting the milliseconds?
In the East Side neighborhood, that is in the southeast side of the city, very close to the Indiana state line. This is 104th and Avenue N. And so we were able to zoom in on the scene and we witnessed at least 50 federal agents, including ICE, maybe Border Patrol.
Wait a minute. She's reading. Oh my God, the slip-ups. Oh, I love them. I love the slip-ups. At least, wait. Say it again, producer. I couldn't hear you. Oh, at least 50. Listen to the slip
We were
up,
able
y'all.
to zoom in on the scene, and we witnessed at least 50 federal agents, including ICE, maybe Border Patrol.
We gotta be on script, bro. You can't tell me they didn't expose themselves right there now.
On the scene there, they were blocking. There we are. We're showing you video
Look
now.
at this.
Because the scene appears to have just been cleared.
Look at this.
But this is what we witnessed, and we saw them running after people in the neighborhood. We'd heard this all begin.
Why would they antagonize ICE when they know ICE going to just... man, please, people. Please use y'all brain. They antagonizing ICE. Yeah, we from Mexico. Yeah, come get us. We're going to run. No, bruh. Stop it.
Video now, because the scene appears to have just been cleared. But this is what we witnessed, and we saw them running after people in the neighborhood. We'd heard this all began with some type of car accident. We don't know if maybe those federal agents were in pursuit of someone. And that's how it began. But you see a lot of people there wearing dark clothing, just running and scattering. And then those agents blocked off about a block radius.
Exactly. I mean, come on, think about it. Wouldn't you do this if you're getting paid? We're gonna pay you to set a scene. Here. Matter of fact, right after the scene is done, we're gonna hook you up with a nice apartment, townhouse. You got a family? Yeah, we'll give you the townhouse. We'll give you between $5,000 to $6,000 to go ahead and start you off. We just need you to stand outside. We're gonna pull up 50 agents. And we're going to say 1, 2, 3, go. And all of y'all just start running. Come on, bro. You would do it. You would do it. If you was coming from a totally different country and you expecting, you know what I mean? A different type of living condition. When you come over here to America, the way they set the stage, they want you to have the American dream over here. They said, I tell you what, we'll break a deal with you. Yeah, you going to do this. You goddamn right. And you get the apartment or the the townhouse for free? Or for the low? Matter of fact, here goes some benefits. He's welfare working out for him or something. Okay, Trump did cut welfare, right? But it don't seem like it's going to be affecting anybody that's not working. These immigrants trying to get a job. So they're going to start off with some jobs that's not going to affect, them having welfare, right? Until they get up further where they can take care of themselves. Then they got to let welfare go. If I'm saying it correctly, I hope I am. If I'm not mistaken, they can still work while being on welfare as long as they're getting themselves up on their feet. And who's to say they not getting paid more than anybody else? I mean, none of that is transparent. I doubt very seriously that everybody's getting paid the same. Because everybody gets taxed differently. We are totally different as far as how much we got to pay in taxes. This is not even funny because it's the truth. How much we have to pay in taxes coming out of our check, okay? Whatever we working for is totally different from any other race. I dare you to compare it with your good buddy. Go check for check. Go check for check. I dare you. Watch
this particular neighborhood, this East Side neighborhood. And they deployed several times pepper balls to kind of disperse the crowd. We saw Chicago police officers approach as well. And then soon after that, that's when those pepper balls were deployed. And now the scene looks pretty clear. Those about 5-6 SUVs that were there that we assume were being driven by federal agents left. The Chicago police left. This is what the scene looks like right now at 105th and Avenue N.
Why
looks like some debris in the roadway.
No police tape. You calling it a scene? We don't see we just see trash in the street. Look like posters. But this is the scene.
But boy, Paris, there were quite a few protesters that gathered at that scene very quickly.
Yeah, and you would imagine because of the Hispanic Latino population on the southeast side that there would be undocumented immigrants in that population, or perhaps asylum seekers and clearly neighborhood residents coming out, as they have in every neighborhood that ICE has come to.
Showcasing That's what I don't get. It's so many other illegal immigrants out here who are not Mexican or what they're going to say Latino. Like, come on. It's way more than that. But nah, let's just point them out.
Rogers Park, Lincoln
It's an
Square,
agenda, y'all.
Albany Park. I mean, we got dispatches from Kenilworth. I mean, so it's been all manner of it, all across the region, all manner of neighborhood. And ICE and DHS has been very clear that they want a show of force. They've videotaped, they've filmed everything that they've done. They put them out on social media videos, really sending the message that
they videotaped, they filmed what they have done. They put it out on social medias. I'll look into that because okay, I'll look into that. Let me not. I'm gonna leave it alone, but that's kind of iffy. I'm gonna look into it.
They are here.
I'll verify that.
They believe they have jurisdiction to kind of go into these neighborhoods and conduct these raids. But again, a bunch of court rulings have kind of shackled them a little bit, if they're following them. Again, with deploying tear gas, you have to give 2 warnings before you deploy tear gas. And many onlookers have said they don't believe that that's happened. They cannot use any kind of violent or munition against protesters that are just standing around and protesting on a public way, on a public sidewalk, on a public street. But as you saw, some of those protests can get contentious as guards are staring down the protesters, and that's where they can use their warnings and then deploy tear gas. And we saw tear gas multiple times being deployed here.
How have you heard that the federal agents are tracking down these people who are alleged illegal immigrants in our community? How are they getting their names? How are they finding out where they are?
Question.
Well, they certainly have long had, databases of who some of these folks are, especially folks that have been convicted of criminal activity or folks that have been charged.
Oh, wait. So you telling me that they had records of these people, and especially those who were criminally charged? We're talking about alleged illegal immigrants, and you have that information? So if and you got everybody's information that came, this person came over here, so we got them. They're over here. Interesting.
But beyond that, we really don't know what they're using to justify going into certain neighborhoods or going after certain people. And they have said...
Oh, so you don't know. So you admitted that you don't know what they're doing or what they're using to justify going in particular areas. Interesting. Listen to how they point that out right behind it.
They are literally going up to places like the other day in Marquette Park, just going up and screening people on things like reasonable suspicion.
So you mean to tell me that they doing this just off of reasonable suspicion? They conveniently pull up into a neighborhood where someone has a Mexican flag outside, ready to protest. That don't sound right.
And the Customs and Border Patrol Commander, Gregory Bavino, has said it can be based on look. It can be based on, well, they might be looking afraid or grip their steering wheel tightly when we come around, and that's how we use reasonable suspicion.
The way they grip their steering wheel? Wait a minute. What? I know it. Hold on. Let me hear that again.
Commander Gregory Bavino has said it can be based on look. It can be based on, well, they might be looking afraid or grip their steering wheel tightly when we come around, and that's how we use reasonable suspicion. Federal judges and courts have said not so fast. That's not necessarily...
Stop it. Get some help.
A good enough reasonable suspicion to detain people. And we've heard anecdotally that they have detained U.S. citizens that didn't have paperwork or that looked like they were not U.S. citizens. And so there's...
How would they not look like they're U.S. citizens? Wait a minute, y'all. They even detained citizens that did not look like they were citizens. Wow. Who did not look like they were. I mean, at this point in America, you can't tell me of a specific feature that will look like they're not a citizen of America when it's all races here that have came across the world and have become American citizens. What are you using to determine that they not from here, bruh? I'm talking about, I could go to it's a whole lot of people in my neighborhood that ain't from here. A whole lot of people. Are you kidding me? So you're pointing out specific people on purpose. This is a setup. This is set up. This is is racially motivated. This is to people was talking about martial law, right? Yeah, I remember that. Everybody was talking about martial law, but a lot more people are talking about a civil war getting ready to take place. Remember how we had how many movies on Civil War so far? If I'm not mistaken, I believe 3 so far. We had 3 movies on Civil War. But let's just make sure that the Latino community and the so-called Black Americans don't come together. But let's put them through similar situations. How they can relate? Being detained by enforcers of the government, enforcers of the government's law. No matter what you want to, however you want to fill in that blank. Because it's many departments, right? You got your local police, you got ICE, you know what I mean? You got all of them, right? Let them go through the similar situation. Except for this time, let's force them with deportation out of America and force Black Americans deportation into the system. Where they can still be owned by private property. Like what? A jail facility, right? They even throw them in insane asylums. They'll throw them all over the place. They never going to deport you out of here. They can't. They know you indigenous here. So they immigrate you with an E, meaning that you're going within America. Not immigrate with an I, meaning that you're immigrating outside to America. It's a difference. Great migrational period. For what? Something happening? Each and every time we go back in history and look at the great migrational periods, they were moving our people some out the way to insert more foreigners in. What if this was done to cause confusion for our people to suffer from the enforcement of them allegedly coming for immigrants or illegal immigrants? And it sounds like it's no holds barred, right? To deport our people into the system so they can move them and relocate them to make room for more immigrants. This has been legally done numerous times in history. So I'm not speaking out the side of my neck. I done showcased it numerous times within this channel. That's why I always state that we should not let history repeat itself. Keep in mind it be the same history if you don't know nothing about it. They just doing it in modern times with modern elements, but it's still the same agenda. We could do something about this. This is not over
All
with.
kinds of these stories emerging as Homeland Security has put out dispatches of violent criminals that they say that they have detained. So it's been
Dispatches?
both. I mean, it's been and from their own data, the majority of folks they've detained have not had criminal convictions on their record, which is belying the point of what they said.
So the majority of you heard, why they moving so quick? The majority of the people that they detained did not have criminal records. So, I mean, you did a contradiction because you said they were coming over there for mainly criminals, right? So just detain everybody. See, that's an excuse. That's a distraction.
They were going to do is just go after the worst of the worst. But what they've said is because there are sanctuary protections.
So that means that they don't have a system to determine the worst of the worst like you were trying to allude to earlier. Like you said right after that, you don't know because they don't have one. That's why you don't know. And why would they disclose their real agenda to you anyway, being you about to make this information public? What makes you think they're going to tell you the truth? Hey, we're going to tip off the news to tip off the public. That don't sound right. Hey, we're going to give the news a narrative that we want the public to know, and they report about it. Now, that sounds right. I know better than that. They do too.
You're not going to cooperate, then we have to go into neighborhoods. You could avoid this by cooperating and getting rid of those sanctuary protections. But as part of the sanctuary law, they have to present, if they present a warrant signed by a judge, we got a judge signing this warrant that we're going after so-and-so in this house, then the cops can cooperate and say, okay, we know about this person. We have records. Here's our records that we have of this person. You know, tell us how we can assist.
But they don't have any of that.
That is perfectly legal. And clearly DHS does not want to go through the process of getting warrants signed by a judge because of the volume that they're trying to do. They've said
it's not the volume, it's because the fact that they don't have anything. They don't. That's all the more reason why that should be a red flag for people right there. You just mentioned the proper or the standard way of them going about getting, for example, people off the street or people out of a particular area. You go in with a warrant from a judge. But if they don't have that, I'm just saying that means there's no structure in that sense. It's above that. This is federal now. They want that territory.
They've gotten 1,500 folks so far in Operation Midway Blitz. So it's hard to get a warrant for 1,500 individuals. And they don't, by law, they don't have to do it.
Okay.
So.
Hey, we want to thank you for your expertise. Stay right
here. Still waiting for some comments from
stay
CPD.
by my side, please, Paris. Our noon show is going to be wrapping up in about 10 minutes here, but we are staying on top of this breaking news. My colleague Anita Blanton is standing by. Hi, Anita.
Yeah, here in Studio 32, and I think that Paris brought up a good point about the federal judge ruling on Thursday that said the federal agents can't use tear gas, they can't use pepper spray and other weapons against peaceful protesters or journalists. The question in a situation like this will be whether they deem the protesters who came out there as actually being peaceful. There was a large crowd that gathered very quickly in that area before that tear gas was deployed. So there will be some questions that are asked. I can let you know. I put a phone call in to Peter Chico, Alderman Peter Chico's office. I spoke with a member of his staff to try to get him on the line to see if we can get him in for Chicago Live starting at 1 o'clock to talk a little bit more about what took place in that area. As you can see, they've dispersed from this area in large part because of the tear gas that was deployed in that area. But we want to ask some questions about what led up to this, who was taken in, how much information he may know. It also begs the question, and maybe we need to put a phone call in to the mayor's office because, of course, now we have what's supposed to be ice-free zones here in this city. So is that, he talked about private property, and he talked about parking lots and things of that nature, and the fact that people could put, I believe they were passing out over the weekend even placards that people could put on their property to say this is an ice-free zone. So there are lots of questions that we want to get and where it pertains to what we've seen just now there at 105th and N Avenue. So we'll put in more phone calls, try to get someone on the line during Chicago Live. There's plenty more that we want to talk about coming up over the next couple of hours about what took place there. As you can see, still just a few people that are
stirring up drama.
getting the people involved. Here, you could try to put up signs to let them know that this is an ice-free zone. Without protection. Oh, you think the sign is going to protect you from ice? But that's also pointing out the people. Okay? Who are, they're making them, inadvertently, they're making themselves vulnerable to these types of situations. You're making it hot. Why would you put up a sign saying ice-free? Like, you're drawing attention to yourself. That doesn't make sense. And so, all right, let anybody to put up these signs, we're going to go mark them now. Come on, bro. No, that's scripted. Again, that was done on purpose. What if people just drove by in cars and posted these signs in particular people's yards without them knowing? They weren't even home. They were out working so they could feed their family. By the time they get back, they getting arrested. Because somebody falsely, posted a sign in their yard talking about some ice-free zone.
Lingering in that area, but boy, what a crowd we saw there at 105th and in. Again, we are going to talk about that. We also have several other things that we're going to talk about today. We have people rallying out at O'Hare to talk about the government shutdown. We also are going to go live to a protest that's happening in our nation's capital regarding the veterans who are protesting for troops to get paid. Of course, this is the beginning of that pay period where they should be getting a payment either today or tomorrow. And now they may get part of that or none at all. We're going to continue to talk about that.
Oh, wait, let me hear that again.
A protest that's happening in our nation's capital regarding the veterans who are protesting for troops to get paid. Of course, this is the beginning of that pay period where they should be getting a payment either today or tomorrow. And now they may get part of that or none at all.
That's the veterans. Part of that or none at all. Damn. I'm going to look into that.
We're going to continue to talk about that. We're going to bring in a member of CARE to talk about another big issue that's happening in the Middle East, of course, which is the ceasefire deal. So plenty of big stories that are happening right now. Lots of areas to go live to. Again, we are watching what is now a clearing area here on the southeast side of our city after what was a pretty contentious clash between protesters and also federal agents who were in that area trying to do some type of operation again, but we don't know exactly what took place there and what's going to come from it. We just saw a huge plume of gas that went up into the air, that tear gas now being deployed. But of course, it is coming after a federal judge on Thursday ruled that it shouldn't be deployed on peaceful protesters. Again, whether those agents who were out there would deem the protesters who came out as peaceful protesters, we're not sure. We have some phone calls that we've already put in, and we're going to continue to follow up on exactly what took place out there and get anyone on the line who can explain it a little bit better in terms of what we saw and where we go from here.
All right, thank you to our Fox 32 Chicago team as they are bringing us that breaking news there. ICE clearing.
Okay. And this is the reason why I wanted to point that out, because there's in my opinion, there's a bigger agenda ahead. Like immigration, migrating people to the outskirts. Like, remember when they moved our people into the inner cities? They did. Okay, the majority of the ghettos, the ones that you want to call the ghettos, the hoods, the projects, were in the inner cities. But at first, our people lived on the outskirts, right? But now they're trying to move more people out. Now, this was a part of Agenda 2030, by the way. They did mention this, and Bill Gates mentioned this in his interview with what's his name? Cooper. What's his name? Anderson Cooper. Y'all could go back on this. It was a 60-minute interview. I can't play it because they got that part copyrighted and I can't get it cleared. But it was a part in there where he was discussing how the population needs to move to the outside. Now, he even alluded to this in a TED Talks presentation when he was talking about depopulation and dealing with vaccines. This was a part of it because they didn't want they didn't want all people to be moving to the outskirts. They're trying to depopulate the population and move them simultaneously. Why, Dane? More control.
more control, and make the inner lands, those lands of the inner cities, all farmland, new farmland. Like if you look at it, there's going to be some particular, mark my words on this, there are going to be particular hoods, and you can probably pull this up right now. There are going to be particular hoods that have been dismantled or like destroyed. They brought it down, demolition style. Okay, peep game. And then they're going to start, continuously making it soil, better soil. And then all of a sudden it becomes fertile. Then all of a sudden they got it structured as a farm. Mark my words. This is also happening to territories that were hit by the hurricanes. Like, for example, Asheville, North Carolina. Asheville, North Carolina should not have been hit and destroyed by a hurricane. When you know how far up you could go in the mountains in Asheville, North Carolina? And they didn't want to mention that it was 92 dams in Asheville alone that they destroyed and made the water go down the mountains. And it became a mud flood and it killed everybody in the mountains. Are you kidding me? That's not Mother Nature. That was purposely done. And it destroyed the main roads. One main bridge was broken in half. They made sure they couldn't get out of there. And remember when they was indicating that the FEMA was down there to help those people? FEMA stayed down there for 3 days exactly and left. And those people were fighting and killing each other down there. Those that survived, they were looting. It was about survival. And I'm telling y'all, that's how a civil war would start. When something that major happens and people are trying to survive. There was a movie that I did with Tanisha. It was called American Refugee. If y'all did not see that movie, go watch that movie. American Refugee. It should be free now because it's been out for a minute. But it was showing you in the beginning of that movie that something was happening. Okay? And they never told you what it was, but everybody had to go into survivor mode. And people were going against each other. That's what the Civil War would look like. I don't want y'all to think that the Civil War is going to look like the people versus the government. No, it's not. It's going to look like the people versus the people. That's all I'm saying. This is not to scare you. This is just to forewarn you of their agenda. They want that to happen. They want that to become a reality. I don't. That's why I'm speaking about it, because I'm speaking against it. We don't want that to happen. Not everybody's going to be prepared for that. Because you're going to have people out there who are military trained that's going to need to survive, and they're not going to be thinking about nobody else but themselves. And they don't got to empty the clip to get rid of a target. They're banking on that. The government is taking over TikTok too.
Series
Let me play this.
And the algorithm, I know this is a question many of you have had, will be secured, retrained, and operated in the United States outside of ByteDance's control.
Listen, let me repeat that one more time. So when the government takes over TikTok, this is what's going to happen to the algorithm of TikTok.
Series and the algorithm, I know this is a question many of you have had, will be secured, retrained, and operated in the United States outside.
Secured and retrained and operated
of ByteDance's control.
And operated outside of ByteDance's control.
And TikTok will remain globally interoperable, meaning TikTok users in the U.S. will be able to see videos posted by users in other countries and vice versa. While I don't have a number on the specific deal, we do expect that thanks to the president's leadership and the securement of this historic deal, businesses using TikTok will generate as much as $178 billion in economic activity within the U.S. over the next 4 years. So this is great news, not just for the millions of American youth who use TikTok. Their data will be safe and secure with this new deal. They'll continue to use this very fun app. But it's also great news for all of the small business owners who have really been able to make a living off of the use of TikTok as well.
And if I could just get one more as it relates to China on...
Man, this is... the government took over TikTok at the right time because they're going to be able to control people posting information about what's been going on. Okay, as far as the government's plan, leading up all the way to the 2030. Now, I'm not saying that everything is going to pop off in 2030. We could see certain things about their agenda of the 2030. They were talking about for the 21st century, Agenda 21st century. That's what they're referring to. Okay, so now that the government has control over TikTok, they're going to decide what pops into the algorithm. You have to hear what they say. So even if you put out truthful videos about something that is happening in real time in your community, they are going to see that and zap it out of the algorithm. That's being done on purpose. And they already tested this with the Charlie Kirk situation. For example, all of those people that were inside of the audience that were recording with their cell phones, the majority of that footage was removed and not placed into the algorithm on TikTok. And they couldn't post it nowhere else neither. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. They couldn't hit YouTube. They couldn't hit nowhere else. All of that footage that we saw was posted on TikTok. And once the government said, all right, that's enough, they looked like they made like 2 or 3 or 4 of them slide. They said, that's enough. They getting too close. All right, not that one. Wait, not that video. They gonna look at the video and say, no, we're not having that in the algorithm. They have that type of control over the algorithm. That's right now. And other social media platforms. That's right now. So don't think that they working for the American people. Absolutely not. They doing it for their best interest. I'm going to leave it on that note. I'm going to leave it on that. Yes, censorship. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's a change happening, and I want people to understand that we have to be prepared for certain things, and also that we need to set a standard where we're all on code. We could all recognize that we have one common enemy, and then hopefully we could all recognize that we have one common goal. That's the thing. We got to do something about it. Now, of course, I've been giving my take on what we could do about it, but we all got to be on one accord on that part. Now, I'm not saying everybody got to unify, but a lot of us should unify. At least with that common goal. We have to set a standard. We got to set up the structure. All the way around. We got to set up the entire infrastructure. Otherwise, they got a plan. And their plan is in motion. So how long you willing to wait? I don't think we should be waiting until it's too late. I think we should have did this yesterday. Joshua Crump, thank you for being a member for what is that? Oh yeah, for 35 months in a row. I appreciate that. Matter of fact, let me Florida, thank you for being a member for 19 months in a row. Oh no, he named himself Flo Rida. Flo Rida, thank you for being a member for 19 months in a row. Chief Deuce Too True, thank you for being a member for 22 months in a row. Shout out to all the new subscribers. K Thomas, thank you for becoming a member. The Question, been a member for 30 months in a row. Dang, you really hit him. I appreciate that. I appreciate that, y'all. We probably gonna try. I'm gonna try to do it again. I'm trying to set a record while I'm going back to back with the live streams. Okay, I'm gonna probably see y'all tomorrow, and I think tomorrow is gonna be a good day where we open up the panel. Depending on how things go, I want to open up the panel. Because I got a couple topics I feel as though, the community should be getting involved, or we should all talk about it. So if you want to talk to me directly tomorrow and the people, hey man, get ready, man. If it's going to be tomorrow, I'm going to let you know for sure. But most likely it should be. If not, then it'll probably be the next day. But either way, that's getting ready to come up. I want you to come up on the panel. We have a conversation. I love y'all. Thank you all for coming out. I will see you tomorrow. Not exactly sure what time. I'm not trying to put a time on it. It's just going to be tomorrow. Okay, we're going to try to set a record here where I'm going back to back to back with it. I'm still going to be clipping all of these up too, by the way. I'm still going to be clipping all of these up. Don't get it twisted. I will be clipping all of these up. But I thank you all for coming out. I'll see you tomorrow. Wado. I love you too. Wado. I'm just here to make you think.
Yeah, DNA. Yeah, DNA.